Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about...
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
English, mother...
Body, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Let's put a smile on that face.
What's up, film family? Welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name is Scott.
My name is Dion.
And today we're doing He Got Game 1998. This is came from a request from our boy Brandon, a good friend of ours. He actually just requested a Denzel movie.
Yeah.
I know he's a big Denzel guy. So we threw up the poll on our IG, on our Instagram. I put Philadelphia, John Q, Inside Man, and He Got Game. And this one came through with a dub. So my first question: what did you think? Did you think this was gonna win, or did you?
Ironically, you're wearing the Philadelphia shirt,
That's right.
and we didn't pick Philadelphia.
Yeah, but we're in a ball jersey.
Yeah, so I guess it could have worked for either one. You could have wore that.
That's true. Yeah,
technically.
You're right.
But not for whatever. I didn't think it was gonna win. To be honest,
Okay.
like I thought it was gonna be Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you had any thoughts. I don't know. I just because I know it's a popular movie, and it's and Tom Hanks and Denzel in it.
Right.
Not saying, and this obviously got its own we never really know, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what resonates with people like that are seeing the poll for whatever reason. So I was like, okay, I was thinking maybe Philadelphia, but no specific reason why like it's the only good movie up there or anything. Like I didn't have any like thoughts like that. But did you have any thoughts on which you thought was gonna?
Honestly, if you asked me before, I probably would have guessed either this or Inside Man. I think this one, I mean, for the basketball heads, like it just being a basketball movie, I know a lot of people that are into basketball would have seen it. Inside Man, I know too, is a little bit newer than like Philadelphia and John Q.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more people have seen that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I would like it was pretty close, honestly. Like He Got Game got the dub. Philadelphia and Inside Man were pretty close. John Q didn't really get a lot of love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that one's a little bit small. That's the thing, because I say the range like with our audience, because I've seen like the analytics of like the age range, and it's kind of like us, a little bit older, a little bit younger. So it's just like, and really that doesn't mean anything, because depending your age doesn't mean you could watch old movies still.
Yeah.
So you never really know what people are gonna vote for. And John Q, I didn't think, just because like compared to those four movies, I feel like it's not as popular.
Yeah, I mean the biggest reason I put that in was because that was one that Brandon put as one of the examples, I guess. I mean, Brandon, we know what Denzel movie means. You didn't have to put examples, bro. But we appreciate the request nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he probably put those because like these are the ones I especially want.
You're right. But, so we put one of them in. It didn't get. He actually messaged me. He was like, he voted for this one. Actually, He Got Game.
Okay.
He was like, okay, we got to go He Got Game. I was like, I appreciate the request, bro, but this is democracy. We can't just do He Got Game. I appreciate the request. We're doing your request, but we got to do what the people vote for. And because he said this was the only one he hasn't seen out of those four. So yeah. What about you? Have you seen all of these?
No, I haven't. I hadn't seen this one.
That's the only one?
I've seen. Well, no, I haven't seen John Q in Philadelphia. No. I've seen John Q, but it's been a long time ago that I've seen it. So it'd almost be like watching it for the first time. Inside Man I've seen, but Philadelphia and He Got Game, I hadn't seen either of those. So I was crossing my fingers. I like those other two movies, but like opportunity to watch a new movie and then do it for the pod. I was kind of crossing my fingers on those.
Yeah, that was what I did. I took the opportunity because I haven't seen any of those four.
Oh, okay.
So whatever was picked, I was down for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good move. It's Denzel. I'm a big Denzel fan. So if you're new around here, Dion and I, we're gonna go through the movie. We're gonna give out some facts throughout. We're gonna give our thoughts, opinions, and of course, we're gonna get to our filmies at the end. So make sure you stick around for that. I haven't seen this movie. I know you haven't seen this movie. What did you expect though? Like, did going in, you're a basketball fan. Did you you knew about it? I'm sure. Did you have expectations going in, and did they meet them?
I think the thing that surprised me about this movie is that I didn't realize that it was like I think it was a rated R.
Yes, that got me too.
Yeah,
I searched the movie and it said rated R. I was like, what? This is a basketball movie.
that's
What?
that's what I'm saying too. It's because obviously all the sex in it and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
which I didn't expect. I didn't think there's
Yeah.
gonna be any of it, and it's a funny kind of like I guess podcast double feature because I've watched it in movies in between, but like watching Sinners and watching this, I'm like, damn, we were some two horny movies back to back.
Yeah. I mean,
And
this
I-
one
I-
a little more. This was a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of it.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a lot more. And I wasn't expecting it from a basketball movie because even in Coach Carter, we got like there's like a little moment when like the party with the girls. That's like the only little bit.
Yeah.
But and then every other basketball movie I think of is usually like a kid's like Mike,
Right.
Space Jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing. It didn't. Doesn't
And
get
even in Coach
freaky.
Carter, you don't see it. Like
Yeah.
you're right. You see kind of the girl. They're wearing bras and stuff still, but like, and then Worm, I think his name is. He goes upstairs and he has sex, but like we
Yeah,
don't see it
you don't
happening.
see it. Yeah.
This you're seeing a whole bunch. You're seeing a lot.
Yeah. No. That I did not expect that. I don't know about you if what you expected going into this.
I honestly didn't know too much about it. I mean, I knew Ray Allen was in it and Denzel. I knew the basic premise of the plot that like Jesus Shuttlesworth is this highly touted prospect and he's going through the recruitment process. I thought it would be more of that, like the recruitment process, like him going on visits to schools and
Oh, okay.
coaches talking to him and stuff like that. It's not a lot of that. We get some of it, but I thought it would, that's kind of what the movie was him going on these different tours and stuff. I didn't really even know Denzel was in jail.
Yeah, I honestly went into this movie pretty blind. Like
Yeah.
I legit thought just based off the title, I thought it was gonna be about Denzel was a baller and Ray was a baller, and like
Okay.
he's got game. It's almost like they were almost competing, and which a part of me was like, is it gonna be believable? Like Denzel is a baller, and then we actually have a real baller in here, but like
Yeah.
that's not what the movie is. And like I literally went in so blind. I did not know that he was gonna be his dad. Like. So there was no real expectation. I knew it was basketball and I knew those two were in it.
Yeah.
And I
That's a
didn't know
good way to
any
go
other
into a movie.
No, and I didn't know any other cameos or all the other people that kind of slid into the movie. Had no idea. So it was
There's
just
a lot of them.
there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So what'd you think then?
I liked it. No, I really liked it. I was we talked about it was the first time watching. I feel like this movie really plays well to the basketball fan, as we were saying. Especially for those like obviously like the people that grew up watching it, like my dad, and like I was talking to my dad and Caddy about it, and like we kind of grew up in like the 10s, like when we were watching basketball, but like so many of those there's so many familiar faces in here still, and whether they were still in the league or not, or they just became personalities, so we just still know them. So it wasn't one of those things where it's just like, we're not watching like Bob Cousy and stuff like that.
Plumbers and
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing ball players that we're familiar with. So even though we didn't grow up during that period, it was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Fox.
Yeah.
Did not know he was
Rick
gonna-
Fox,
did
we
not
got
know he was gonna
Dick
be in that.
Vitale. We got
Yeah, that's what
Shaq,
I'm
Reggie
saying.
Miller. There's a whole bunch. I mean, Rick Fox gets like a whole role.
Oh,
Most
yeah,
of them just kind
exactly.
of pop in for a little interview moment.
Mhm.
But yeah, I liked it a lot too. I was actually kind of surprised as well that like, yes, it's a basketball movie, and you're right, those things like appeal to the basketball fan in us because we recognize the people and we kind of know the things that they're talking about. We're just in those spaces. But if you're not a basketball fan, there's actually not that much basketball in this movie, and
Yeah.
like I feel like you could really get a lot from this movie having not participated in basketball, knowing much about basketball. Yeah, all the cameos wouldn't really do anything for you, but it
Mhm.
would just be like hyping this guy up and showing how good he is.
Yeah.
But like there's not a lot of basketball in this movie, and most of the story is revolved around him and all these people around him that are just trying to get a piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny too when you think about like those cameos. A lot of them aged pretty well. Like in the sense of like those guys are still pretty big face. Like Reggie Miller, I feel like that's like a face that like it's mostly basketball fans. He's still
Yeah.
out there though. He's still doing like commentary and stuff. Like the basketball fans know, but like Shaq, Chuck, like those are characters, and like I
Yep.
feel like those maybe not Chuck as much, but definitely Shaq transcends basketball.
I think Chuck does too.
You think
That
so?
guy, because he
Yeah.
says some outlandish shit that just
Yeah,
goes
that's true.
viral all the time. I think,
that is true.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he's bigger than Shaq
No, definitely not,
physically
but-
or
yeah,
know,
name.
name wise, in neither of the cases is he bigger than Shaq. But I still think a lot of non-basketball fans know who Charles Barkley is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And also to your point too, like the concept of like the decision of a pro athlete is still something that's like very heavily discussed today, probably if not even more now with social media.
And NIL.
Yeah, no,
Imagine
exactly.
this. Imagine Jesus Shuttlesworth with NIL.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You want to go to the league? Fuck no. I'm making so much money here. Getting.
No, that's so true. And
I really didn't even think about it until just now. But this movie with NIL would be so different.
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's changed the game completely. Like
Yeah.
there's so many of these stories of just like all these little under the table things and all and
Right.
like all these little scandals. It's just like so much that just gets erased now.
Yeah. Like that's a whole side of this movie is like the coach trying to pay him off and the agent that's trying to give him his watch and all this stuff that he's like, no, I can't do this. This is illegal. If you did it now, like it would just you could still have those parts of the movie, but it would just be a whole kind of context around it that would be different because it's not illegal now.
Yeah, no, it's true. I actually have a question for you too. And like
Sure.
you don't have to go like obviously we'll talk about kind of the different scenarios like throughout the movie, but like I was kind of curious because I was looking on IMDb and I saw the movie was rated like I don't usually do this, but it piqued my curiosity just because how much I like the movie. That the fact that the movie's rated a 6.9 on IMDb. On Letterboxd, it's rated a 3.6 out of 5. But on Rotten Tomato, it's like completely different. Like critic score gave it 80% and audience gave it 83. So that's a completely different story on that website. From the other ones are more like 70 and the other one's 6.9. Then they went 80 over there. So what do you think that is?
That's a good question. I mean, I think the 7. I think they're all like. It's not that far. Like, it's not like one of them is like a 30. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's like, what the hell happened here? Like, I think
Yeah.
this is a good movie. I don't think it's a 10, but I really enjoyed it as well. It could be the basketball thing. Maybe there's more. Like the range would vary so much. If you're a big basketball fan, it would bump it up. If you're not so
Yeah.
much, you still like the movie, but it's not as high for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't really know. Did you have any thoughts or ideas?
I didn't really know until I saw like one thing and I kind of thought about it. Like, I saw a comment saying that like that there's too many stories. I saw someone making that comment and I was curious what you think about that.
In the movie, like too many
Yeah,
plot
like 'cause
lines.
like how even before we were talking about last week we were talking about Superman and you saying like you feel like there's too much. I think that was a not a complaint, but it was a question someone actually asked Spike in an interview. I was like, do you think there was too many like components? Like you have the dad and the prostitute, you have Jesus and Lala, but then you have Jesus and there's kind of like a little bit of the coach scenario like sequence that we keep going back and forth with. There's Jesus and his sister, there's Jesus and the agent, you know what I mean, like, and like
His
they're kind
uncle
of
and
asking
aunt and
the aunt and the uncles thing too. So like they're saying, do you think like there is too many of those? And obviously Jesus and Jake
Right.
like his dad.
Yeah.
And he's kind of questioning is there too many like storylines? I personally don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I because it all still revolves around Jesus. It's not
Yeah.
like except for Jake and Dakota.
Yeah.
That's like the B plot, the subplot, I guess.
Mhm.
But that's only one. And all the other stuff, like they're different characters pulling at Jesus from different angles, but it's still the same story. It's still like it's them trying to take advantage of him or get money from him, or you know what I mean? It's the same story. It's just different characters coming from different angles. One of them is his girlfriend manipulating him with love and sex. One of them is an agent promising him money. One is his aunt and uncle. Well, I guess just his uncle. His aunt was like, "I don't want no part of this.
Yeah.
You're good, Jesus." But his uncle was like, "No. We need
Yeah.
Guap for support of you." So he's pulling on that guilt side of him, the family guilt, and then Jake, of course, being his dad and the reason he's there trying to get out of jail. So it's like different motivations for the characters, but it's all the same thing that they're doing.
And that's how I felt too. And I felt like it was specifically this story. I feel like you need kind of to have all those because that's the authentic part of it. It's like that's the cash cow, and then everyone around him is gonna be, hey, can I get a little something? Can I get a little something? You wouldn't just be like, oh, just have the dad in a relationship, and then suddenly everyone else around him is just normal. Like that's not how it would be. The way they're touting this guy, he's like gonna be the number one pick.
That's the whole point of the movie is that coming up and like, you know, all the fame and the stuff that comes with this. This is the negative side of that, is everybody around you that doesn't care about you, just wants you because, like you said, he's the cash cow. Like even all the like the extras basically that are like students at a school or people just around town that are like, Jesus, where are you going to school? Jesus. Like those are like, not all of them have to be a named character and have their own side of the story, but we get like 4 or 5 of them that we get to know. I thought it was great.
Yeah. No.
And totally authentic, like you say. I'm sure. Well, I don't know that. I was never a 5-star prospect, but if you asked Ray Allen that, I'm sure he would. I mean, he was on the movie set. I'm sure if it was that far off, he'd say no. Or, you know, Spike is very entrenched in the NBA, so I'm sure he did his homework and knows kind of how this stuff goes.
No, 100%. And to your point, that's exactly what I was gonna say too. I'm like, if Ray Allen was just like, yo, that's a bit much, I think it would have been like, yeah, all right, you know what, you're right, let's take it out. But I don't think, or maybe sometimes he's just like, it's a movie though. We gotta,
I mean, you gotta juice it up a little bit.
100%, yeah. But still, if it was completely like left side, he would have been like, nah, like that's not how it is.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to our family meeting. So this is our Instagram story. We always put up a question, and for you guys to respond. If you want to be part of the conversation, give us your thoughts, or just respond to the question. That's totally fine too. So I asked, what did I ask? Is this the best basketball movie? If not, what is? And we had our boy Kobe, no relation. Shout out to Kobe. He says he never seen it, but it can't be better than Coach Carter. A big Coach Carter fan. I don't know if he's listening right now, and if so, if he watched the movie, if his opinions change. What do you think, Coach Carter versus this?
I mean, it's kind of tough because they're so different. Like we just said, this movie's rated R. It's a little more. It's similar story, and just like kids going in like a rough neighborhood kind of thing, kind of dealing with different things. Way more like characters that you're dealing with versus this is just like one. So I don't know if I'm ready to rate it. I don't know. I don't like comparing them. I like them both. I don't really want to say. There's obviously the nostalgia. Right. We grew up watching one, and then we just watched this one for the first time.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're both really good. I think I think Coach Carter does some things better than this, and I think this does some things better than Coach Carter. But can't be better. It could be better. It could be better. I'm not gonna go out and say it is, but it's on the level. I wouldn't shoot somebody for saying this is better than Coach Carter.
No, definitely not. No.
And we also had our boy Jordan, who was on the podcast for the Tenet episode. Yep, he said High School Musical. I knew you'd be a big fan of that.
I wasn't sure if he was joking or not. I don't know if he's being
maybe
sarcastic.
He is. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. When I saw him, like, is he being sarcastic or not? Like, I don't know. I do got to call you out though on that question though. You kind of painted them in a corner. You kind of painted them in a corner.
Why?
You
what
said,
are you talking about?
Is this the best basketball movie?
Yeah.
If not, what is? So you're not even giving anyone an opportunity to tell them like why they like this movie or not. It's like, is this the greatest movie or not? And it's like, well, it's not the greatest. It's like,
sorry, man. Jeez. So how should I have worded it? You arguing?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, if I asked you, like, because we both like Fast Five, and if I said, is Fast Five the greatest action movie or not? And now it's just like, well, I do like Fast Five, but I'm not gonna say it's the greatest action movie.
Well, that's on them. If you want to, if you say yes, expand on it. The opportunity's there. I don't have to ask you to expand. All right, figure it out, guys. Jeez, I'm not gonna hold your hand. Okay. You gotta call me out for semantics. That's crazy.
I don't know.
You said we had another. You had.
Oh, well, do you want to do the Kobe thing, or do you want?
Oh, sure. So, we also got to apologize to you, Kobe.
Yeah.
Because
yes relation.
Yes relation.
Yeah, the other Kobe.
Is this the other Kobe? I don't know who.
Oh, it's not the no relation. It's
so
funny,
this is your brother Kobe? Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, Kobe relation. He's been commenting a couple times on our Spotify episodes, and you could shoot me. I'm an Apple Podcast kind of guy.
Yeah, same.
You are as well.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even know how to find this. I'm a noob to this stuff. So anyways, we missed his comment from a couple weeks ago on the District 9 episode. Mm-hmm. He was gassing my Ferris Bueller Award.
I was going to say, he put you over.
So. Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, Kobe. saying it's always something that he never even thinks of when watching the movie. But when I say it, he's like, yeah, why the fuck did that happen? That's what the award's there for. I'm lovely.
Yeah.
That's the essence of the award.
100%.
And my award's just better than yours, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, I could have not even pretend. When I saw that, I was like, "Do I give this to Scott? He's putting him over." Whatever. Let me let him. Because I could have acted like I didn't see that one.
You're right, but we're men of integrity here.
Exactly.
At the film room. And last week, because we were going back and forth with what we were just doing, we had two Kobe's trying to differentiate them, and he said, "A life full of people throwing garbage out and screaming my name in the process has trained me to know when I'm being referred to and when it's someone else." That's amazing. That's hilarious.
And very fitting for this episode also too, that comment.
Kobe.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but as soon as he said it, I was like, damn, that's actually so true. Like if your name is Kobe, you just have people all the time, sitting in class or sitting in a cafeteria or something, and you just hear across the hall, Kobe. I feel like maybe it's like the insinuation or the tone of what's being said. You could kind of differentiate it. Like if I'm going, I'd be like, hey, Kobe, not like Kobe. It's the O, the length of the O. That's
yeah, exactly.
That's it.
100%. And our last thing from the family meeting, I got a DM from my buddy Alan. He didn't have time to put it in like on the reply. He could have just DM'd it, but he ended up messaging me. But
That's cool.
His
Appreciate
thoughts
you,
were, I love anything Spike Lee touches, so I might be a bit biased. He's a huge Spike Lee fan. He might have seen I don't actually know, but I feel like he's probably seen every Spike Lee movie. Like he's a big Spike Lee guy.
Okay. Cool.
He said Denzel throat punching DeAndre in front of a hot Rosina Dawson. That was like a superhero scene to me growing up. And then he was like, as for basketball movies, he's like loving basketball, and He Got Game. It's up there for me. He says Above the Rim is just okay. And he's like, he says White Man Can't Jump was a popcorn movie. And then he was like, never seen Like Mike or Space Jam. And then he's like, is there that many basketball movies? ?
There's quite a few. I mean, you just name like 6 of them, and there's a second Space Jam. There's Coach Carter, like we've been talking about. This is a good amount of basketball movies.
He's older though, so he don't watch those movies. He's probably, I don't know if he's even seen Coach Carter.
Watch Coach Carter.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
I don't know if like now it's a time for him to watch. I don't know if he'd enjoy it as much. Like he's in his 40s. I don't want to start. I think it's age
good.
Drop you, Alan, but
for
it's
sure.
Still
a good movie. I don't think it's not a kids movie.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's a little more mature. Space Jam and Like Mike, though.
Yeah. Those are kids' movies.
Yeah, you don't need to
Coach
watch
Carter.
those, Alan. Yeah, you're good on those. But Coach Carter, check out. Honestly, check out Hustle. Hustle's a good one.
I haven't even seen that one yet.
That's a good one.
The throat punch, though, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that, too. Because they were starting to beef a little bit, but he was just kind of like playing him off and just bop. And he just took it like a bitch, man.
Yeah, which is wild. Because I'm like, is he a kid, though? That's kind of wild. Is he in high school? Like, is he... Well, maybe
he was driving.
Yeah, I guess
that doesn't mean that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you're a convicted felon and you're punching a kid in his throat.
Well, that's why he ran away
midday.
After. He's like, yeah, this is not good. Whatever he just did was not good.
Definitely not. But
that's funny though.
But that wraps up
our the family meeting.
That wraps up the family meeting.
All right. Well, should we jump into the plot then? Do you have anything else?
Let's jump right into it.
All right. So we start. We learn kind of why they're letting Jake out. The governor wants Jesus to go to his alma mater, so this is why he's got to get him to sign to Big State.
Yeah.
And then we kind of meet all the different characters at the start of the movie, and like we talked about how they're pulling Jesus, trying to get him to go this way, trying to get him to go that way, trying to just get money from him. How'd you think about how the whole movie got started?
Well, there's one thing I thought was kind of funny too. This is like right off the beginning, like the little montage we get where it's like showing basketball like all over the country and stuff like that. And I was laughing because I was like, the most unrealistic thing was having like the white kid miss like a deep 3. And then like no one else missed a jump shot off of that. And I was like, okay, Spike, what are we doing here? If anything, that's the person that's gonna hit the deep shot, but
Ray Allen didn't call him out on that. He was like, Spike, I don't know, man. That's a little off. You know, it's kind of not funny, but something I noticed in that same montage. There's one of a kid hooping with the backdrop of the New York City skyline, and the 2 twin towers are just like right dead center of the shot there. And I was
yeah,
damn. because I mean
Yeah,
it came out in '98. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true. Yeah, it's
it just
no,
didn't
yeah.
happen yet.
No, it's always so weird seeing it in movies.
Yeah,
There's another movie I watched recently that I don't know if it's a movie we watched on the pod and we talked about this again, where it's like, oh, it's so
the
weird
World Trade
seeing the
Center. There?
towers. Yeah, I don't know if we watched a movie that was in New York more recently or not, but
Before
I don't
that
know.
one, I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, it always throws me off. But no, I liked see like it was I like the way it the opening conversation between Jake and the warden, like they're having the conversation. You see all the different like cuts, so it's kind of giving us like a little bit of the story. We're seeing like a little flashback. It's like a mix of they're showing us the past, and then they're also kind of narrating the future, and then we kind of jump right into it. What's
Yeah.
currently happening with Jake? I thought it was like a cool style, like the way they did that.
Yeah, that was one thing that I wrote down that I really liked about this movie is all like the way it was cut.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it was constant. Like you said, that happens in this scene, but it was constant throughout the whole movie. Like we're cutting back and forth to Jake and Jesus wherever they're at. We see his like the flashback when he's with his mom is still alive and Jake's a kid and he's playing basketball down in the park. There's even kind of intermixed moments where Jesus is grown, like it's Ray Allen, but he hears his mom, and so
yeah.
like the timing wise in the movie, it's all kind of like mixed together, but it's not at all a time travel movie, but
No,
like
no,
just the way it was cut, kind of like was fresh and like mixed it in here and there. I thought that was actually really interesting. That was in this scene as well, but in the movie in general, I like that.
oh, for sure. And that's why like I actually didn't even mention it when I talked about like how I my thoughts on the movie in general. I was like, I'm always looking forward to watching a Spike Lee movie because his movies are so stylish. I think as he's moved on, like he still holds on to that. I think he was I don't want to say going crazy because it makes it seem like it was a bad thing, but like in his 80s and 90s movies, I think he was a little way more flashy. And then with certain movies, he tightens it up a little bit. Like Inside Man doesn't go as crazy. Like again, the crazy sounds like it's a bad thing. I
I know
don't
what
when I
you
say
mean. I know
crazy,
what you
yeah, I
mean.
don't mean a bad thing, but his just movies are so stylish. Like if you when you, eventually you're gonna watch Do the Right Thing, and it's got the same kind of vibes. Like it's just so unique. It's like, oh snap! Like there's some shots you'll be like, I'm like, well, speaking for myself, and I've watched a lot of movies. I was like, oh, I haven't seen a shot like that before. That's crazy. And
Yeah,
he's
I mean
got yeah,
there was some that I was like in regular scenes where like you don't have to do this. Like you could shoot it totally normally, but like when Jake and Dakota are hooking up, for example, and then we get a shot of them from outside the window
yeah,
into their like we were in the room with them, and then there's a quick shot from outside the window. It's just like keeps things moving. I don't know, keeps
Mhm.
your eyes interested, keeps your mind engaged. It's even though the story's going, the story's good. It's just a little extra something that
yeah,
keeps you on your toes, which I liked.
100%.
Um, I got a, I got a couple like not questions, but a couple call outs maybe to the warden. So
Okay,
so like it's right in the start of this, so they
yeah,
poison him, right? They're like, okay,
Mhm.
we're gonna give you some bad food, so you have to get sick, and this is how we're gonna
Mhm.
get you out of jail. So he gets sick. He walks into the infirmary or whatever. He's like, the doctor says, I don't. It might be food poisoning. He says, are you sure? I don't know. You just brought him here. So the doctor's like, he literally rolled him in. He's like, might be food poisoning. Are you sure? Because he knows that's what it is, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he's doctor right in his face. I don't know. I was like, God damn,
Yeah.
you're messing this up, bro.
Yeah, I know. Like,
He's messing up, blowing his cover because right before this, he's like, okay, we're gonna give you bad food because you can't trust your acting.
yeah,
You're fucking it up.
yeah,
And two, I thought that was funny because this is literally Denzel Washington.
yeah. I
admitting
know.
it too. Don't trust his acting. Crazy.
And also, what did they give him? Like, he looked like he was in a lot of pain. Like, you couldn't give him a little tummy ache. Like, he looked like he was going through it, man. He was just pulling stuff off the wall. I'm like, yo,
I mean, I feel like that's the point. Like if you gave him something and he just walks into the doctor's like, I got a woo tummy ache, then maybe that's not good enough. So they really had to give him something to give him the bubble guts. But
yeah.
yeah,
It
was
looked
nasty.
It looked sharp.
Yeah, it
It
did.
didn't just look like, oh man, I got like some crazy craps or shits or something. Like, it looked like he was getting like something was like digging in his.
That's Denzel's acting.
No, you're right. Shout out
That's
Denzel.
Denzel,
Yeah,
unless they
it's-
actually gave Denzel some
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I'm a method actor. Give me some
Yeah.
poison.
Hey, maybe. I'm sure it's been done before.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably.
I'm sure it's been done. So then so he gets some money, or so Jake gets out. They give him money. Get yourself cleaned up, get some clothes, blah blah blah.
Mm.
And then he goes and buys Jays. I was like, they give him
Yeah,
enough
I
money for
know.
brand new Jordans? God damn.
You know, it's funny. Eloise asked me the same thing too. She's like, they gave him money for Jordans. I was like, I think they assumed he was just getting clothes or something else. Cause he didn't even really get himself clothes besides that. He's just wearing bummy ass clothes for the rest of the whole movie, really. Just wearing ball fits. He never really got
Yeah.
himself like
But
regular
he would
clothes.
have bought that stuff at least. He bought some ball fits. He had some regular clothes when he was with Dakota.
I
I'm assuming he
guess.
got some like clean underwear and socks and stuff, but like he ended up asking them for more money, but I don't know. He seemed pretty okay getting those J's, man. He
New
seemed
J's
comfortable.
too.
Brand new.
Cause even G's was like, oh, you got the new J's. He's
Yep.
like, how much were those, man?
150. That's what the guy at the shoe
Oh
store
yeah,
said.
that's true. Yeah,
He even
that
said
sounds cheap. That sounds cheap for Jordans.
150. Yeah, but that's in 1998.
Yeah, no, that's true. Just hearing the number though, I'm like, ooh, 150
Yeah.
for new J's.
Yeah. So what'd you think of like when I mean Jesus, like we said, he's meeting his we see his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
He's trying to pull from him, the coach, like all these people. Was there anything that like jumped out at you in these seasons where it was like, damn, like uncle, like chill out, or like coach,
Oh,
like give him a break,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one thing I wanted to say too. I did appreciate because I saw this that Spike said that like he intentionally cast like skilled hoopers instead of actors, and like he made it a note to not do the classic thing that you see in movies. You know, when you kind of like when like someone shoots and then suddenly you just see the ball
Cut
swish through
away.
the net.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I thought that was something that like even because we get that montage, the opening montage, like when we get the introduction of Jesus, when like they're hooping on the street and stuff like that. So that was something that I kind of got. I thought that was interesting because we usually don't get that. But
Yeah.
as far as it goes with the family dynamics, I mean, Uncle Buck was a character. Like he was almost like cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like
Uncle
he obviously
Bubba.
represented the family aspect of like there's gonna be family members they're gonna want from you, but
Yeah.
he was just like he was a character in a good way. He was funny.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was something too that I don't want to say not expected. Like I feel like I thought it was kind of a lighthearted basketball movie, so I was expecting some jokes.
Mhm.
But there was like some wild jokes
Oh
in
yeah,
this too. I guess you have the R rating, might as well fucking go
Yeah.
for it.
no, 100%.
But yeah, there was a lot of funny moments in this movie too that I didn't know were there. I'm not gonna say
Mhm.
didn't expect, but I didn't know that they were gonna be there. You know?
Yeah, did anything like pop out to you like in the even if like the introduction of like when we see Jesus for the first time or anything like that?
I mean, you're right. That game, like that we see him hooping outside for the first time, it's very clear like they're actually hooping. It's
Yeah.
a short scene, and like I
Mm.
said, there's not a ton of basketball. That's kind of the only other time we see basketball being played is when they're playing 1-on-1.
Yeah,
Jake
no,
and
it's true.
Jesus.
No,
So there's
100%.
like comparing it to Coach Carter, for example. There's a ton of basketball in
Yeah.
that movie. So I like that we got a scene of them hooping. But I think, I liked that it wasn't just that. Like there was so much different. Like the movie's about all the different characters
Yeah.
and Jesus going through it, and there's actually a lot of like I don't think symbolism is the right word, but a lot of like reading between the lines, especially at the end of the movie, kind of like when there's meaningful things happening that mean stuff outside of what's just happening on screen.
Yeah.
That I was impressed by, honestly. And as we get there, I'll mention it, but I was impressed with all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to your point too, like I didn't really think about it until you mentioned it because like as you were saying how there was not much basketball, I'm like in my head doing like a Rolodex of like other basketball movies and thinking about how much actual basketball is in it. I mentioned Hustle. There's a lot of actual basketball games in that. What's it called? They Coach Carter, like Mike, all those things. It's like Space Jam, and this movie just kind of used the basketball as like just the vehicle to base the story around, but there's not actually much of the actual game happening. It's more kind of
Right.
like the drama that happens around that this specific individual and like what kind of happens with them, which it is interesting to think about.
Yeah, like it could have like all as much as basketball there's just as much almost people just gassing Jesus, saying like this guy's the greatest, he
Yeah.
can do this, he can come right out of high school, go to the pros, he's so good, blah blah blah. So like you almost don't even need to see him play basketball to just they establish that he's great at basketball, and this is why everybody the agent's trying to sign him and everybody's trying to get a piece of the pie is because he's so good at it. Like this could be it doesn't even have to be a basketball movie. This is what I'm talking about. Like if you're not a basketball fan, there's still a lot to like about this movie, because if you don't enjoy watching basketball, there's not that much in it.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's so much. The main thing, because we're talking about how there's multiple stories, but the main core story is father and son.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the father and son have their own conflicting relationships, and then Jesus obviously has all the stuff going on with him, and then Jake has the stuff that's going on with him, which I think is important. Like, I mean, they're complex. It makes the characters more, adds more depth to the characters. And there was even just like one little subtle thing, and I didn't find anything, but I'm curious to see if it was like a Denzel thing or it was a Spike decision. Like, because when he first gets into the hotel and they leave him and stuff, like they put the little ankle monitor on him and everything, and the opening the window and like kind of smelling the fresh air, kind of like, oh, like freedom kind of thing, I thought was probably in the script. But I wonder if like the little subtle thing of him like opening the door, because it's like a little subtle thing you don't think about. Like he's been in prison for 6 years. Once that door's closed, your door's closed. But then he's like so happy about like, oh my god, I can open my front, like I can leave. It's just like a little thing, and I'm just like, it's true. You don't even think about that. It's just like that little freedom.
You're right. Yeah,
just having that.
it's not long in the movie, but it's one of those things that just makes it feel more real and authentic, and a little
Yeah.
touch that adds realism to the movie and the character. It just I don't know. Like I love the little things like that in the movie
Yeah.
that just makes it feel so authentic, especially in a movie like this that's like, it's not sci-fi, it's not fantasy, like it's not those things. They don't have to do these things to make it real, because it's not real. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But this this happens in real life.
Yeah.
It's like not exactly like this. It's a
Mhm.
fictional story, but like, you know, there's players that are highly touted, and they have all these people trying to get, like, this is real. So having this part of it in the movie, I think it makes a big difference, even though it's something so small. It's just such a little detail. You're right. Opening the window, taking in the fresh air. He even sits on the windowsill a little bit and just
Mhm.
takes it in. And then he's opening the door like 10 times. He's like, holy shit, this is unlocked. This is fucking crazy. Yeah, I like that.
You know, it's funny too, because like he gets money for Jays and stuff like that, but he doesn't ask for money to get like nice food. I just kind of,
Yeah,
you
he's
see him making a
grilled cheese.
grilled cheese with an iron. It's like, what? Where are your priorities at, Doug? You've been eating like the jail slop for 6 years, and then you're gonna continue making slop for yourself, basically.
Yeah, but the kick's fresh though.
Yeah.
But when he steps out, he's looking clean though.
Oh my
Are people going to be seeing what he's eating? No, they're going to see what's on his feet.
I mean, they could see you eat at a nice restaurant if you want to do that.
Yeah, but only, yeah, I guess. But like only the people that are in the restaurant.
Yeah, I guess.
Throw on the Jays and walk around New York City. You're going to have thousands of people seeing you.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're not wrong.
That did kind of surprise me too, because I was like, because there's even like is a Chinese food or whatever it is right across the street.
Yeah.
And when he opens the window, like that's in the middle of the shot. So I was like, oh, that's what went to my head, was like, oh, he's been eating this prison garbage for 6 years. He's gonna go right into get some good food, and nope,
Yeah.
he wanted the J's on his feet. I respect it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like with everything that's going on in this movie, I almost wonder, like, I'm sure like when you think about it, if you take it back to 1998, obviously there's no social media and all those things. And I don't know how much guys are kind of revealing about their experience, all those stories, because to us it's so secondhand. Like we see all this stuff, and it's like I'm not even like blinking an eye. I'm like, yeah, I could see all that stuff happening. But I wonder if 1998, some people were like, okay, that's a bit much. Like especially the college scene with Rick Fox. I have obviously a little bit. It's played up a little bit, but to a certain extent, I'm like 100%. I could see this happening. I mean, some people back then were like, okay, I don't think it's that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's. I 100% believe that's.
I think if
happening.
you're a 5-star athlete that's destined to go to the NBA and make millions of dollars, yeah, that's why a lot of them, like Anthony Edwards, already has like 6 kids with like 5 different women, and he's like, I think that's pretty real.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like I said, neither of us were 5-star prospects.
No.
We didn't get this treatment, but I'm pretty sure if you go to a college and you get, and I don't know if it's necessarily on a visit like that for Jesus, of course, because he's a national story. Everybody knows him. But like if you're maybe once you get to the school and if you're balling on the team, then that's when the girls will notice you and stuff. Because, you know, if you're a high school recruit, they're probably not paying attention to you. But once you get there, then maybe. But I'm sure it's I'm sure it's not too far off.
100%.
Like we said, that Ray Allen would have just said, "No, this is not what it is."
Yeah, exactly.
And he didn't say that. So then we kind of we start to get this. We learn about like his mom.
Yeah.
Right. So we're okay. This is your mom. I loved your mom, and so kind of like we don't know exactly. I mean, we know that she died, and they say that Jake killed her, but we don't know exactly how that happened and everything. Like, what do you think of that whole side of the story?
I kind of liked it how like they kept it a mystery. So like you're holding on to that in the whole movie. Like what happened here? Because the first interaction we see with him is like Jake is Jesus is so cold to him. He's like, I don't have a father. Like it's like, am I like those lines were crazy. And then I was like, am I talking to you? Matter of fact, I don't even know why you're here. I'm just like, huh? He's talking to his dad like that. I'm like, that's crazy. Like later on, we see Jake would punch a dude in his throat. So I'm like, he's just letting his son talk to him like that. I'm like, this must be like a sour relationship.
Yeah, you're right, and we don't know why. We know Jake is in jail, so obviously he did something wrong. We get flashbacks here and there of him like being hard on him as a kid, like training him to hoop. But I was like, did he just go too far? And that's kind of what soured the relationship. But you're right, like the mystery is there, so it's one of those things that you're kind of is mulling in the back of your head as the movie's going through, which I liked. But I mean, Ray Allen as well, like in those first scenes, I was like, I don't know, the delivery is pretty like stoic and there's not a whole lot of like emotion and juice behind it. But I don't know if this was shot like in sequence. I know it was shot relatively quickly. I don't know if he just got more comfortable as they got going, but like as he continued to go through, I thought his performance was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. He did seem a little stiff at first.
Yeah,
he did. I agree with that. And then like as it kept going, and honestly, it's not his fault. Like this guy,
he's not an actor.
And to how much he got to be in this movie too. Like I wasn't sure how much he was going to be in this movie. Like I knew he was in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like the athlete that was kind of like in the movie, and this is a Denzel movie. Like he probably got the most. It's probably close. I don't actually know between like how much screen time who got more between Denzel and him. It's probably pretty even, honestly, because we got a lot of scenes with just Jesus.
Yeah, it's probably if anything, if I had to guess, I would probably say Jesus got more.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, you have Denzel Washington, and you're gonna give more time to this basketball player. I mean, he's the main character, but
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I do agree though. Like it did seem a little stiff at first, but then like it's slowly. I also thought it was also weird to see Denzel next to someone who like makes him look so small and like less than. Yeah. Like not like Denzel like this big brooding guy, like he's a friggin' Batista the Rock or something. But I just feel like in most movies that he's in, like he's either like level with the other actors that he's kind of in with, or like maybe he's bigger. But to see him kind of be like look so small in the frame was interesting. It was different.
You know what I think it is though? I think that's a compliment to Denzel's skill, because I think it's his presence. You know, when he enters a scene, like he looks bigger than he is. Like he feels bigger than he is because he's just like I mean, it depends on the character he's playing, but like you're not gonna cast Denzel and have him play some wimp. Like he's always some.
That's Joaquin Phoenix's role. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Commodus and Arthur. You're right. That's Joaquin. But Denzel, you're not gonna. Either he's physically strong or he's mentally strong or both, or like he's always powerful pretty much in all of his roles. So like I think it's more his presence than anything. Like he walks around in like American Gangster. He walks around like he owns the place because he fucking does.
No, 100%. And Training Day. And
exactly.
That's why it was also throwing me off too, because his name is Jake in this, and then freaking Ethan Hawke's character is Jake. So every time I heard Jake, it was throwing me off. I'm like, you're Jake? I'm like, nah, your partner's Jake. But
waiting
I think
for Jesus to be, you gonna do this to me?
Yeah, exactly.
You motherfuckers gonna be playing basketball. That would have been perfect if they.
No, true.
Actually, I think Training Day came out after this.
It did. It came out in 2001.
Yeah, it definitely did come out.
Yeah, it came out in 2001. So he didn't even do. Yeah, he didn't even do Training Day yet. But But yeah, I think that's what it is too. It's just like we're so used to him being like these bigger than life characters for the most part. Sometimes he plays smaller characters, but even then he still holds this presence. Like he's like I don't want to say alpha because that sounds corny to say, but usually that's how it is. But yeah, it was interesting to see him in the movie in this like that kind of dynamic.
Yeah, and I mean when they were playing 1-on-1, it made it, I don't want to say unbelievable. Like it didn't look unbelievable. It looked like Ray Allen was actually like playing. Obviously, he wasn't going 100%.
Yeah.
But like it looked like he was trying decently hard. And I actually read that apparently for that 1-on-1 scene, Jesus was supposed to beat him like 11 zip.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw
But yeah,
that.
Denzel actually got like 4 in a row.
Yeah,
and then Ray Allen got cheese. It was like, okay, no, I'm clamping this dude, and then washed him. But that's hilarious. Hey, good on Denzel. He got 4 buckets on Ray Allen.
Yeah, no,
That's crazy.
The funny thing was, I remember Denzel saying like he kind of rope-a-doped him, like the classic thing of when there's someone like you're playing pool or something, and he's like, oh man, I suck at this. Like, hey, you want to play for money? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then suddenly you just start going crazy. He kept telling Ray that he's like, yeah, man, I've been trying to train for it, but like my left hand's garbage. Like I got no left hand. Very first play, he goes left and does a left hand layup.
Fucking hustled him.
And he said, I've just been practicing my left. That's what I was practicing. I kept telling him, I was like, I got no left. So he gave me left on that first play, and I just went.
That's amazing. I thought that was intentional because every time when Jesus was a kid and we saw them playing 1-on-1 or working out together, Jake kept being like, use your left. You got to use your left. You're finishing. What hand are you finishing with? And what hand should you be finishing with? You know what I mean? So I thought it was kind of that. Like as soon as he scored the bucket, I thought he was going to come out and be like, see, I told you got to work on that left. That's why you got to work on that left. There wasn't really any trash talk because that's not what he's trying to do in that scene. But that's hilarious that Denzel fucking cuzzled him like that. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
So that right at this one note I had when I think this is their first meeting at the park. They had already met at the apartment.
Yeah.
But when he meets him at the court and he says, why you name me Jesus?
Mm.
Jake's like, it's a biblical name. Jesus like, yeah, no kidding. Like when he said that, I was about to write that down. I was like, is this gonna be my lazy word? Like what the of course this is it's a biblical name. But then Jesus even said, he's like, yeah, no kidding. I'm like,
yeah.
What are you doing, Jake?
Yeah.
Like what kind of answer is that?
Just messing with him, and then he later on tells him what it actually is. I don't know why he messed with him in that moment, but
my name's Jesus. It's a biblical. Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a character in the Bible. There's a person in the Bible named Jesus. Who knew?
The whole time I thought his name was Jesus, and I thought his mom was Latina. So I thought it was just like I thought it was that. I'm like, why are they not just saying Jesus? Like, why do they keep saying Jesus? But I don't even know what his mom was. Was his mom Latina?
I don't know. They never say it.
They never really
she's
say
just black.
it.
She's just black.
Was she black?
She was like a light skin, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I guess he was mixed, but that wouldn't make sense to what she said later, though. If my mom found me with a white girl, she turning in her grave. I'm like, if she was white though, then why would she?
She could be full black and just like a lighter skin because she wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
I guess. Yeah, it could be like
dark,
Curry. I
but
guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just
definitely not
that.
Jesus. Yeah, because
it's
we
definitely
hear
not
her out from the window go, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I hated it. Everyone's making fun of you. You got booger.
Yeah, that's a rough.
Yeah,
that's a tough name to have because all the kids be like, Jesus, just like,
yeah,
like, shut up.
But then you become the best hooper in the country, and that's what they were saying on during the interviews.
Yeah.
They're like they appropriately named him Jesus. They foresaw he was going to be nice with it.
Yeah, that's a wild thing to name your kid, man. It's a lot of
I don't even think you can you do that. Can you name your kid Jesus?
Well, people name their kid Jesus still.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the same spelling.
Yeah.
So it's just different, pronounced different.
I think
I don't
God. Know. I don't think you can name your kid God.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But Jesus is cool. And the Holy Spirit. So yeah, then we get a bunch of cameos. So we get all the whole montage: Reggie Miller, Shaq, Chuck, Dick Vitale.
Yeah, I got hyped when I saw Dick Vitale. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't expect that.
All-time Family Guy moment.
Oh, we
from
did?
MJ.
Oh yeah,
MJ right at the end. He says he got game.
Oh snap!
All-timer.
I didn't even catch that.
Michael Jordan. How did you not catch that?
I didn't realize it. I don't know. I remember Mike seeing, but I don't remember him. I can't remember that's what he said.
That's what it's the end of the montage of everyone saying this guy's great. He's going to
got
be a pro, blah, blah, blah. He got game. You get Michael Jordan. Spike knew what he was doing.
Yeah, no,
That's
he
a
knew what he was
great
doing.
Family Guy moment. Well
No,
done,
it is
Spike.
good. 100%. No, it is good.
You get Michael Jordan for one line and you use it on the title. Excellent work.
100%.
Then we meet Dakota for the first. Well, I guess we kind of saw her in the hallway.
Yeah, briefly.
Getting smacked around, but we get the real scene with Jake and Dakota meeting. What'd you think of this? Because we spent a lot of time here. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I was kind of wondering where it was going. Like I wasn't sure if this was just like him actually has like feelings for her, like he actually feels bad for her, or if he was just trying to get some, like on the initial meeting of just like, I've been in prison for 6 years, you know what I mean, like can I get something here, or is there a little bit, and then as you go on you do see there's a little bit of him like feeling bad, because especially because he knows she's getting like beat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I kind of, now I think about it, I feel like it kind of ties in just to kind of how he was treating his own son, and kind of just realizing like seeing someone else beat someone, he was kind of, I think there was a little bit of that was kind of hitting him.
Well, and his wife, because
Yeah.
we learn later that he ended up killing his wife accidentally, but
Yeah.
like he still pushed her.
Mm.
So I think that guilt on him. He says throughout the movie, he's like, I pray every day that God forgives me for what my sins, and that you and your sister Mary do, and so I think that guilt is also on him. Like seeing a woman get abused is probably for him, like, damn, that hits him. So he wants to help in that sense, because he didn't have to do that.
No.
But you're right. Like they're at the start is kind of like, is he just trying to get with her, or is like it doesn't feel like that. I guess they never really like fully say it out loud, but like I think it's pretty clear that he has real, I don't want to say feelings, but like actually cares for her at least a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I thought it was an important, because I saw Spike saying that like he was defending the whole like multiple stories thing. He's like, I feel like that part was needed, just like just to add more depth to his character, and then like what we just talked about too, and also the extra added bit of just like he's been in jail for 6 years, and he's like just just have any interaction with a woman is just like he feels inclined to try to at least in this
I think,
like small time he has.
I think another thing that this adds is at the later in the movie when Jesus, I guess, forgives him, because he ends up going to Big State and for his dad.
Yeah.
But in the game that they have before that, when Jesus or Jake is like, can you sign this letter of intent? If you don't do it, I'm not going to fight you. Like I'm here. I want you to, obviously, but like, I'm not going to force you to or anything like that. So I think it's kind of like that redeeming moment for him, where everybody else in the movie is like, no, I want you to go here so I can get paid. I want you to go here so I can get paid. And Jake is the only one that like is actually genuinely like, I want you to do what you think is right for yourself and for your sister. So I think this is another way, like the Dakota side plot, to kind of redeem Jake in a way, to show like he's actually not a bad guy. I mean, I can't fully redeem him because he still killed his wife. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because once we see that the actual scene, it's pretty rough. It's like we see him being like you mentioned earlier how like throughout the movie we slowly see him just like training his son harder and harder, and it's like, okay, yeah, like we've heard this story before, like the dad that trains the kid too hard, whatever it is, but then it's like it starts getting a little physical. He's getting like aggressive with him. It's like that doesn't look good, Jake. And then didn't know there was the extra layer of like the fact that he pushed his wife like that, because like it was something that felt like so casual. It's not like, oh man, I didn't mean to push her. Like he probably is just a physical with everybody in the house. So yeah, it was tough seeing that, because when that scene happened, I was like, ooh, it's like we're all with you, Jake, but now it's just like, okay, now I see why Jesus does not mess with you.
Right. Because he was right there. He saw it. So it's not like he can lie about it and say like it was an accident. And I mean, it was an accident that she died. Yeah, it was an accident that she died, but it wasn't an accident that he pushed her. Like he still was physical. And like you said, this is probably not the first time he's ever pushed her or hit her or anything. Like I'm sure if it happened in that scene, I'm sure it's happened before. So I'm not saying like, yeah, this is, he's totally redeemed. He's a good dude, like 100%. But I think, you know, having that subplot with Dakota at least helps in that sense of showing like he's not he is, you know, sad about what happened, and you know he has prayed to, you know, for his
Forgiveness.
sins that he did, and he's trying to be better, I guess. You know, like it's just trying to, I guess, humanize the character a little more, like not just put him like this is a bad guy, why is Jesus even trying to help him? Like it's trying to, because Jesus does end up helping him, so it's kind of justifying that to the audience of like, okay, this is why he actually got there. This is a little piece that says this character is not all bad. He's not all good, but he's not all bad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I like
No.
in characters that you could, because no character is all good. Well, I guess some fictional characters can be, but like nobody in real life, which this movie is mirroring real life, nobody's all good or all bad, right?
Yeah. A lot of people are flawed. No,
Mhm.
100%. Yeah.
So then we learned that like Lala's using him. Like we said, we learned
Yeah.
about her other boyfriend. I was like, damn, because at this point we didn't know that.
Yeah.
I assumed she was with him, and then
Same, man.
man was touching her face while she was on the
Yeah.
phone.
I thought they
I
were
was
in
like,
bed. It was such
same.
the way it was done. It was like, and then I realized they were just outside. I'm like, why is he touching her like that outside? It's so.
They could not keep their hands off each other.
I
It
get.
was-
Oh my good
there was almost my lazy award was when he goes to meet the freaking
agent.
the agent, and they're in the pool, like cuddling up in the pool. I'm like, Jesus is here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. They're not trying to hide anything at all. You
Yeah.
know, it's funny too. As we're talking about the relationship, I had a little point to that was funny too, because the little intro that we get, like when we see Jake and Lala, like it almost felt like a music video. I don't know if you remember the intro, you know, where it's just like we get the montage where it's just like Jake has just done the whole opening the door and then breathing in the fresh air.
Mm.
And then he goes to the window and he's just like, thank you, Jesus, which is a perfect match cut because he says, thank you, Jesus, actually talking to Jesus. And then it cuts
Right.
to Jesus running.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, then they start playing Public Enemy and it's him running. And then you see her waiting at the bus stop. It looked like such like a always on time Ja Rule ass
Okay.
music video.
Yeah.
And then he's painting her nails and then winning her stuffed animal. And you see him running. And then she's at the bus stop again. But now you get a zoom in of her like playing with the earrings. I'm like, this felt like a music video. It's so good.
That is a good point. Actually, I didn't really think of it.
I was
in the
feeling
moment.
it though. I was feeling
Yeah.
it.
No, it totally makes sense. I mean, I feel like it's the classic, you know, the girl that's, you know, she's ready for school, she's early for the bus because she's gonna get good grades, and the guy that doesn't care about school because he's a basketball star and stuff like
Exactly.
that. But you're right, the way that it was edited
Presented.
was you're good. Yeah, winning the stuffed animal and
Yeah.
painting the nails. It was
It felt
perfect.
like such a old school
Spike Lee,
R&B, R&B freaking. They did all the tropes. All they needed is Jesus like in the shower or something, and
Yeah,
just
I was
like
gonna say in the middle of the street while it's pouring rain,
yeah, exactly.
ripping his shirt or something like la la.
No, but it was good. But I feel you though. I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, okay, Lala's the good one. You know what I mean? Like everyone else is like money grabbing and stuff like that. And then we learned that she's kind of a trick, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah. So there's no one good around him, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The only
Except his
one
sister.
is, yeah, his sister. But she,
Yeah.
I mean, she counts
She's a
on him.
child.
And, yeah,
Yeah,
she's,
she's a child.
also a child. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like Jake is the good one around him, the one that actually like wants him to do what's right for him and his sister, even though he's not the all good character because he killed his wife and he's in jail, and we see him, you know, he's getting drunk later in the movie, and he's not being responsible with his time out and his money and stuff like that. So he's not all good, he's not all bad, but for Jesus, he's the one that's actually caring for him.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And he has the most to gain getting out of jail. The other ones have money to gain, but he has the most to gain.
Yeah, true. Even like there was a one scene too, like he had with like big time, like the guy
Big
that came.
Time Willie.
What was his? Did he really? Was there anything for him?
He was so he's like the drug dealer
Yeah.
or the gang leader, whatever.
Mm.
So because he said, oh, you know, Big Time Willie put the word out.
Yeah.
Nobody touches Jesus. So I think it was that he's like, okay, I get protection for you from all the gangsters or, you know,
Mhm.
criminal people in New York, and for that you should pay me, or I should be on your good side.
But I feel like there wasn't really a moment where he asked for anything specifically though. He was just kind of, hey, remember who looked
Right.
out for you, was kind of thing. He never really said like like, I guess it was implied. It was just like an
Yeah.
implied thing.
I think it was
But
more that. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think of his scene though?
I was just gonna
Are
ask
you,
you.
go ahead.
He was a cartoon character
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was also like, he kept dropping the N-word. I was like, is this guy black? I don't even.
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't tell. I don't know I don't know if he was Latino or whatever, but
He had the
he was
craziest
killing.
New York accent.
Oh
man.
my goodness, man!
Well, honestly, it was a horrible
go.
New York accent.
Yeah,
And I googled the actor because I'm not from New York.
yeah.
So I was like, maybe it's from a specific borough that
Mm.
maybe the accent is actually pretty good, and I don't want to look stupid. So I googled him, and he's from California. So
Okay.
I feel confident saying that was a shitty New York accent.
I did what I did like about this scene is the again I've been praising Spike Lee's like visual storytelling, and during this like the visuals that we were getting where he was kind of warning about being in the wrong crowd. We kind of get the guys like playing. I think they were playing dice or something, and then
Yeah.
like it turned for the worse. He was warning about like the drugs and like the women. I thought that was a really cool aspect of this.
Yeah. You're right. Visually, I liked. Again, that's so much of the cutting away that I talked about at the start of the episode, though, that I liked. That it was like as he's talking, they're cutting away to scenes of this stuff actually happening. And another little detail of authenticity. I mean, I wouldn't say as little because this is a pretty long scene, but I like that it's in there because it's another aspect of the process for Jesus that is real. You'd have these are all traps that you can fall into
Yeah.
if you're not when you get rich and if you're not making good decisions or if you fall in with the wrong group. Like it's real that you can get caught up in drugs or prostitution or dice, gambling, alcohol, all this stuff,
Drugs,
right?
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
gambit.
So like, we were talking about Jake and, testing the door and opening the window. This is another piece of really realistic storytelling, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then we jump right into that, and then we get the coach too. The coach starts bribing him, and like that was kind of. I mean, it's all gross, but to me, it was gross. The extra layer of like, hey, remember when you were failing in that math class or whatever? Remember when? It's like, and he was even like, I thought you were just helping me out. Like, I mean, it's a little naive to think that, but you also be like, it's my coach. Like, I think he actually is trying to help me out.
You're a high school kid.
Yeah, but it's just like, damn, coach, really?
See, that's another one that like, because we were led to believe that coach was on his side as
Yeah.
well, right? And then it's the reveal is like, no, I need you to go over. Remember when I did this and that? Yeah,
It's like, damn.
so every single character around him is just trying to siphon money from him, except for Jake.
Yeah.
Except for
Except
Jake.
for Jake, man.
I had one little shout out too, though. I wanted to say, right before this, that he gets called into the coach's office. So they're at practice, right? And
Yeah.
they start beefing at practice. He blocks. Oh, that's a foul. You never think you foul nobody. Blah blah blah. And the guy's like, "Here, you want the ball? Go get it." And he chucks it.
Oh,
and he,
yeah.
And he makes it from like 3/4 court. And then the beef immediately stops. He turns around. I was like, "Yo, I just made that shit." You were just scrapping, and then as soon as you made that, you're like, "Yo, did you see that?"
You know what? I didn't check to see. Was that all in one shot?
It looked like it to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But I
like,
was like, how did they do this?
because it was clean.
Yeah.
It was
Like, did they
clean.
play out the whole scene and Chuck miss? All right, from the top, play the whole scene. Like, I don't know.
No, that deserves mentioning too, because that was good. When he hit that, I was like, all right, are they gonna keep fighting after this? And the beef just stopped.
They
Like, yo,
did
what
it.
the heck? I was like, all
Again,
right.
I feel like that'd be pretty real because it's not real beef. They're beefing over a call or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
If
It's
you're
not-
beefing with your boys and someone makes a 3/4 shot, you're like, oh shit,
yeah.
nice shot.
You know what I thought that scene was gonna turn into? I thought it was gonna turn into like a thing of like, because now we're getting all these different angles. I thought his teammates were gonna come, not so much like asking him for money, but I thought there was gonna be like a jealousy angle. We'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, not all of us are our number one picks. I thought that's why they were cheese about the fouls and stuff. It never turned into that, but I thought that's where it was leaning because you could see that being
Yeah.
like an aspect. But I guess again, that would have been too many stories if you try to add in that element too of his teammates.
That's a really good point though. That could be in there. You're right. But I mean, the only one of his teammates that we really get to know at all is Booger, his cousin.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I guess it would be if it were to be someone, it would be him.
Yeah.
Kind of like casting him out, like look, man, yeah, like you said, not we can't it can't all be number one picks, but so I guess he's also him and Jake. He's looking out for him. He never
Yeah,
asked
no,
for
it's true.
any money or
No, that's a
anything.
good
Booger's a
point.
good dude.
Yeah.
I
And
love
that's kind of the
Booger.
wild thing with Uncle Buck and the other people. It's just like, I guess I get it with everybody else, but you're actually family. Like, why do you think he would just like turn his back on you? Like,
Yeah.
Uncle Buck was wilding with that. Like, I hear stories. I'm like, he's like, what? What stories? Like, I
Yeah.
live with you. Like, like, wow. Like, yeah, that was kind of funny to me.
I
was
feel like
just
you don't have to ask. Like you had this kid live under your roof for however
yeah,
long. I mean, to be fair, they moved out, so obviously he was being a dick or did
yeah.
something, or maybe he was asking for money before then, and that's why they moved out or something. But like, if you were just a nice guy to him, I'm sure he would have taken care of you.
That's what I'm saying. But hey, whatever, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Bum, it's a bad call. Made
Yeah.
a bad call. Then we do get the scene with the agent. Do you have anything to say about that scene specifically?
Right before that scene, we get the. I just want to like. I'll jump right into that. But there's another thing I want to shout out too. When we get briefly Lala and Jesus at the amusement park. I thought it was like a cool shot of when he's on the roller coaster and like the camera's just on it with them as they're like going around and all that stuff. And even when they're on like the Ferris wheel, I thought that was just a cool
They start
scene.
hooking up on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, then the fireworks go off as like they cut away. I thought that was just like a cute little. It probably didn't even need to be in there, but I thought it probably didn't. But Spike was like, why not?
Yeah,
Looks
why
cool.
not?
It looks cool.
Get the fireworks back there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but
there's already so much sex in this scene. What's
Yeah,
in this
exactly.
movie? Why not another one?
Yeah, it's add another one. But as far as like the agent scene, I thought again another angle that was like is interesting and probably and needed in the movie just because that's just a big aspect of it. I'm showing off the cars and all the houses and all that stuff. I was like, oh, you got a court, like all that. So I thought it was I like the scene.
And I feel like it was like it's the culmination of Lala's angle. Like she was like, oh, I know this guy, an agent, he wants to talk to you about. They bring it up like 2-3 times before this. If the scene never happens, then it kind of be like, so what happened with Lala? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, it needed to
I
happen.
think it makes sense that it's in there.
Yeah.
So then we get like the flashback to Jake going too hard on Jesus.
Yeah.
At the court, he throws the ball over the fence. He kills his wife, pushing her in the sink. Again, I feel like this kind of felt like it wasn't that bad. But I'm like, I don't know, man. You pushed your wife into the sink. Yeah, you didn't mean to kill her, but this is not good.
Nah, I don't even know if it was even to be played as it wasn't that bad.
Maybe not.
Because when I saw,
I
don't know. I guess it depends. But because he never really says that, like, when he does say it was an accident, and his daughter, which she was there too, and she is on his side. I guess she was probably too young to kind of see maybe all the other stuff.
Been a baby, I feel like.
Yeah, but she would look like she was like not that young. She didn't look like a baby in the scene. Like she was sitting at the table.
Oh,
so I don't know. But anyway, when I saw the scene, I was like, ooh, this doesn't look good. Like as I mentioned earlier, I'm like, it's gonna be hard to redeem yourself from that one, buddy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Exactly.
Because again, it's already, we were saying that it already feels like it's already layered that this wasn't the first time. Like this isn't the first time he's been violent or aggressive with them, and now it literally reached the tipping point, and like I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I don't actually know if it was meant to be like, look, it wasn't that bad, it was an accident. I don't think that. I don't think it was 100% supposed to be like that. I think it was maybe meant to, well, I mean, it's just the fact of the story. It's just what was happening.
It's what you take from it, honestly.
It's what you take from it. Yeah, it's a good point. And I think like I said, like Jake, he's not meant to be a right or wrong character necessarily. Like he has good qualities and he has bad qualities, like we said, which is human. So I think this is just one of those things that's like, yeah, he didn't do this on purpose, but that doesn't mean it was right. Like either way, it's not perfectly good, it's not perfectly bad. I think it's the dichotomy of the character is current, like it's consistent throughout the whole movie, basically. And what he's doing is it's not all good, it's not all bad in anything that he does. And I think that's actually really interesting, and to credit to Spike's writing.
Yeah, no, I agree too, because I think another element of it that makes it good too is that usually sometimes in these situations, maybe to get like a little further background story, it could be like this is why Jake is so aggressive, because his dad and parents treat him like this. And then if you give them that, then you get that extra layer where like, okay, no, this is a good guy. But it's just like they don't show you that, and it's just like, hey, people are complicated, and there's people that end up doing bad things, and I'm not going to show you what led them to being here, but you can kind of see how they kind of spiraled, and then you can make the decision based off what you see. And like everyone's gonna have different opinions, like kind of like how we're just talking about it right now. It's just like it's what you see the event, and then you kind of be like, I just feel like both of us we're kind of like in the middle. It's just like I see both sides to it. It's not very like black and white where it's just like nah this way, nah this way. I can see both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the lead up to it when they're down on the court, like you can see that he's drinking. So that's like a knock to the negative side.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still a father working with his son. So that's maybe a push to the positive side. He's maybe going a little overkill because he leads Jesus to quitting and throwing the ball over that comes back later in the movie. But yeah, working him kind of too hard. There's even that one guy that's like, hey, man, like take it easy kind of thing. And he's like, don't tell me how to father my son. So like you can see how it's building up and then it boils over. So it's definitely more negative than positive.
Yeah.
Like he's
100%.
it's definitely like, this is not good what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. It's not all there because he didn't try to kill her.
Yeah. And you know what the extra layer is? And I feel like this usually happens with casting is the fact that it's Denzel. You just want to like Denzel.
Yeah,
It's very hard not to like Denzel. If this is a movie and that's like a no name or not like a lesser than like actor, I think you're leaning way more to this guy's a piece of trash. But because it's Denzel, it's like it's kind of hard to. Yeah. I don't want to hate Denzel. Like in what movie? Like even in Gladiator 2, like actually I don't want to spoil Gladiator 2, but if you haven't seen it, but yeah, you just don't want to. You just want to hate those kind of guys.
Yeah, or Training Day.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want it. Yeah, it's a good point. So then we get the visit to Tech U with Rick Fox. What'd you think of this scene?
It was funny, honestly. Yeah. It was. I feel like it was played for comedy mostly. Like they're showing you what it is, but it's obviously played. Like the girls just come over and they're just kissing Chick on the mouth, which is an interesting name to give Rick Fox. I don't know why you called him Chick, yeah. But yeah, girls come over, kiss him on the mouth, and then they kiss freaking Jake on the mouth.
Jesus,
yeah, they kiss Jesus on the mouth, which I would have kind of been like, okay, chill out. Like I just saw you basically tongue this dude, and like you're coming over to me, but yeah, I feel like it was just played for comedy. It was just funny though.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good turn, like right after the seriousness of Jake killing his wife, and then we get to the visit with Tech U, and he's like, "Yeah, the girls all over the place." That's basically all that happens in the scene is just girls and party. We do get the moment with the coach. That was funny.
Yeah,
the coach is like, "Man, I fell to my knees, Jesus, when I heard that you were coming here. I fell to my knees, and I was." They even play like a highlight reel of him on the jumbotron. Spike was kind of cooking here too when he enters the stadium and he has like that shot tracking across the court where it says Tech U.
Yeah.
I was like, the small little details like this that like don't need to be there, but like you're watching and like, man, this is dope. Like this is kind of like music video-esque as well. Like it wouldn't be like the same type of music video. It wouldn't be an R&B music video like the one earlier with Lala, but this could be easily like a rap song type of music video.
100%.
Seeing the court and Ray Allen splashing threes and cooking on the jumbotron, this was dope.
Yeah, no, it was dope, and I think it was an interesting moment too in the movie too, because up until this point, like we weren't really sure if Jesus could be morally corrupted, but this is the first time we really see him, because every other time it's like, nah, don't accept that money. Like he's telling his uncle, return that car, whatever it is. But then when the girls come around, he can be corrupted.
Yeah,
pretty fast.
Yeah,
that was which
tough.
Which is I mean, I'm glad they at least added that in the sense of like, this guy's not perfect, and he wouldn't be. There's gonna be something. They had to have something. It wasn't drugs, it wasn't alcohol, it wasn't money, but it was the girls.
It was the girls that got him.
The girls that got him.
And it's a funny way that he ends this scene too. Because so we have the sex scene. So he's having sex with these two girls, and then it's a quick cut to like Jake's face, and he's just like the what I wrote down, just the message that the facial expression was giving me was like, "Come on, dog, Like he knew that was going, like the way that all the cuts that are moving back and forth between different characters and different moments in time and different scenes, like it almost feels like that character knows what's happening in the other scene. Like Jake
Yeah.
could see Jesus doing this and was like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
It was that made me laugh. Like it was just went right from that to his dad's face. I was like, goddamn.
Oh yeah. No, that was good.
So then we get Jake asks for money so he could be with Dakota. He gets with Dakota. Did you think this was gonna happen? How did you see the scene going?
Yeah, I had one more thing on that last scene. I don't know if I remember, but do you remember what was the dude's name? The guy that was the coach. That I forgot that actor's name. I thought I
The
had it
actor's
written
name?
down.
Oh, I have it
Yeah.
written down actually.
And you know what I'm
It
talking about too. That
is-
dude's he was
He's
in Transformers.
Transformers.
I had it written. Oh, I guess I accidentally deleted it.
John
'Cause-
Turturro.
Yeah, John Turturro. Because I had a lot. I think about that because this guy has been not in 6 Spike Lee movies. Ironically, he's been in more Spike Lee movies than Denzel.
Damn.
That's really
Okay.
the Spike Lee comparing, bro. Because when I saw him in this, I was like, of course he's in this movie. Because all the other
Yeah.
like movies I saw of him, like I was of Spike Lee's movies, I was like, oh, that's like again he's in this, again he's in this. He's like gonna do the right thing. And then I'm seeing him in this, I'm like, oh snap, this is like a trend. And the funny thing is, in the Big Lebowski, his name is Jesus.
Oh
So I
shit.
thought that was kind of funny too. I wonder if that was like a little bit of like a nod, like, hey, we gotta have him in this movie too. We got a Jesus in here, where he was actually Jesus in the
Okay.
Big Lebowski.
Did that come out before 98?
I think it actually came out in '98.
Damn.
So I don't
You might
know.
be right.
When were they
But,
recorded? When those happened? I don't know. But
But
I just had to
he's
throw that in there because
yeah,
I didn't
he's
want
great.
to leave that.
He's always funny. Like
He's
as soon as I
hilarious.
saw he was the coach, I was like, okay, this is gonna be, and like the tone of the scene like was already kind of funny. I was
Mhm.
like, this is gonna be fantastic, and he
Yeah,
didn't
100%.
disappoint. He got a short scene. He didn't get to do much, but he gives him the
It's all he
jersey,
needs.
gasses him up. Yeah,
It's all he needs.
got down on my hands and knees. Jesus, like they're all holding hands, and Jesus looking at Chick like, what is this guy doing, man?
Yeah.
It was great.
You know when you see him entering a scene, you know some comedy's about to happen.
Yeah, I
He-
love that guy.
He's not a straight man. He's not coming in to be serious. That's 100% not the case.
Yeah, no, he's great. So yeah, Jake gets with Dakota. Jesus and Lala break up. We get the
Yeah.
1v1. We're kind of coming to the end of this movie.
Yeah.
What'd you think of these few scenes?
The final thoughts. Yeah. So I thought again the what happened with I wasn't sure what was gonna happen with Dakota and Jake in that moment. So I was really intrigued because I was like, is he gonna go through it? Like, is this like just because at first just like, is he just paying just for her to be there? Like he just wants someone to be with because he's lonely, you know what I mean? Which I think that obviously is a part of it. Like there is a loneliness that he's dealing with. Like he's dealt with the death of his wife for the longest time. His kid, he didn't see either of his kids, even though he's glad to see that his daughter still loves him and still cares for him. But there's that loneliness aspect to him. So I don't know if he is gonna feel weird about this because he's also like paying for it. And like, is he actually gonna try to have sex with her, or he just wants the company? Like, I like that scene because I was just kind of curious to see what they were gonna do. I don't know what your thoughts are on that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Honestly, this scene kind of just felt like the closure of their relationship.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we had to get something of this. It was like,
Mhm.
are they going to hook up or not? To me, that doesn't
Yeah.
really make a difference in the
Mhm.
story or for the
No.
characters. You're right though. It didn't seem like he paid her to be there like just for that. You're
Yeah.
right. I think there was some of that companionship as well. I also think it was to give her maybe a night off from
Yeah.
being with her pimp, whatever, the guy that's beating the shit out of her.
Mhm.
I mean, they do end up hooking up. I mean, she says, I'm stopping the meter or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's not just like a transactional
Mhm.
relationship. So, but other than that, I didn't read too much into it, to be honest.
Yeah. To me, I think I was trying to read into it just to try to justify like why I felt like this relationship was going further than just him being nice to her the one time. Where I was just thinking it was just like, again, I think we're trying to redeem Jake as much as we can, especially after what we just saw him do. Where it's like he has to show some kind of humanity of just being kind to someone who's probably, I don't know if he was beating his wife that bad, but like we just assume he was someone that was like he's beating his son, so I'm sure there's some domestic violence in that too. So I think it's just showing that like a softer side to him. I think that was I was trying to read into it and trying to make sense of why we kept
I
getting those
yeah,
scenes.
I don't disagree with you at all. But I think that was, to me, that was already established in
Mhm.
the scene where they met each other, and they were,
Mm.
and he was, helping her with the towel on her face and asking, if she can. He was trying to help her, So
Yeah.
to me, that softer side of him was already portrayed, already established. Them hooking up or not, like, didn't change any of that for me. It was more just
Yeah.
like the closure of the arc. Like, I feel like if we never saw her again, it'd kind of be a little bit weird. So again, like the scene with the agent where we're saying, okay, this is Lala's story and this is where it's leading to.
Yeah.
I get that. This is why she's doing it. This is kind of the same thing. This is Jake and Dakota. Um, and again, it shows that they kind of they do care for each other a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not just transactional.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Um, so yeah, Jesus and Lala break up. This was actually a short scene, but I actually thought it was a really good one. That
Yeah. No, I
like I
agree.
said, I thought Ray Allen was settled in at this point. I thought his acting was
Yeah.
actually really good at this point, because like it wasn't like it didn't just go straight to a breakup. Like they started sitting together and it's just dialogue,
Yeah.
but it moved very quickly, but it felt very organic the way it moved into this breakup situation. Now she was like, how was your trip? And she somehow knew that he hooked up with girls. Maybe she
Yeah.
just assumed you're going on
Mhm.
a trip with college girls. You maybe
Yeah.
hooked up, and he knew that she was hooked, because I didn't think he knew. Right
Yeah,
when
me
they're at the
neither.
agent's house and they're in the pool, like he doesn't do anything or say anything, and so I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't think he knew, and then he calls it out, and
But
their breakup ends up happening. So I thought it was a good scene.
to your point though, he acknowledged the pool thing, and you even said it's just like, yo, I almost gave him my lazy award because she's not trying to hide it, and he was like, man, I knew something, and it's just like, yeah, okay, I'm glad you're not blind, Jesus. I'm glad you saw that too, because
Yeah.
like up until that point there was nothing else. Like we saw the little hand thing, like,
Hmm.
but he didn't see that. But like the pool thing is like, okay, that's a bit crazy. Like you said that he was like a family friend or something. He's like carrying you in the pool. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
strange. A
Yeah. They
little
were
too.
mad cute in the pool,
Yeah, that's a little. You don't do the
but
family
we
friends.
didn't see Jesus see it, or did we?
No, we did. He came out.
Yeah. But does he give her?
They were.
Oh, you're right. He does.
Yeah, they were
He
doing that
does.
in the pool, and they came out and they were talking.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't like he kind of looks over and we do see him see it, but like he doesn't
You're
say
right.
anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a good scene. I
No,
thought
I
Ray Allen
agree.
was actually really good in the scene. Then she's
Yeah.
like, all right, fine. She just accepts it, says, and she had, a good point too. She's like, I don't have nothing. You're gonna go and be a big star. I don't have nothing. And she's like, can you honestly say you were gonna stick by me and be real? And he's like, yeah, yeah, I was. And she
Mhm.
was like, fuck.
And honestly, like that actually sparked a conversation. I'm gonna bring it up now. I was gonna bring it up later, but it sparked a conversation that like me and Eloise were saying too, where I was like, I kind of see her point, but I also see his point at the same time too. Cause I was like, we don't really know how long they've been dating. From that argument, we could tell that they've been together for a little bit, and there was a whole like part where like we didn't know that there was an abortion that happened. So like it's been a while, and he's like, "Yo, did that happen a couple months ago? Was that years ago? I don't know how
Yeah.
long." But on his side, I'm thinking like we assume just from the little montage we got earlier and just the dynamic that like this is a legit like high school sweetheart, you know what I mean? It's not like some girl that's just like this is his new girl that he found like a month ago, now that he's rocking with her because what's it called, he's about to go to the league. And on her side it's just like, yeah, I feel like you could read that dynamic of what the relationship is. Like, can you actually feel someone's like actually like a day one with you, or you feel like this guy is like a player and you're just kind of dating him? Like, so I don't know. Like, just the fact that like she would do what she did, it's like you must have not thought this relationship was real from a while ago if you do something like that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, to like, for her, why would you, if you knew he was cheating, then like, yeah, sure, screw him, go cheat,
Yeah.
whatever. But if he is not, like, why are you taking that risk? Like,
Yeah.
even if you don't love him, this guy's about to be a millionaire. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Lala?
That was
Bad
my only
move.
thing, which again, I get it because he did do the college thing, but I don't know, just the way I'm just basically going off the character that we see that we were presented on
Right.
the
Because
screen.
that's all you can go off.
Exactly. That's all you can go off. And he seemed like a guy that was actually down for her. Like it
Yeah.
seemed that way. I'm just going off that. We can do the whole thing where we step back and being like, if we look at the history of how many players, NFL, NBA players end up leaving their high school sweethearts, I'm sure the numbers it's pretty high. But there's anomalies. He could have been the anomaly. You could have been his Savannah. You could have been his Aisha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have been
100%. You could have been.
You could have been. I don't know.
You could have been. And to be, that's worth the risk.
That's what I'm saying.
That's high reward.
Yeah.
So it's worth sticking out. And like you said, all we can go off is what we saw in the movie. And we never saw him cheat at any other point in the movie. Yeah, we saw him do that at school. And maybe on his other visits, he was getting down every single time. But we don't know that. And it didn't seem like that. But I guess we don't know.
We don't know.
So then we get the 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake is playing for him to sign the letter of intent. Jesus is calling him Jake.
Yeah.
Like, come on, D up, Jake. Like, that's your dad. Like,
Yeah,
just
I
calling
know.
him by first name. That was nasty. So like, I like this scene because like Jake has his ulterior motives for being there, like because he wants him to sign the letter of intent, but he tells him that, so he's not lying to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that is again a redeeming quality, I guess. And he says that he truly wants him. Like, I want you to sign whatever you think is best for your sister. And I believe him. I thought he was honest in that. So, I mean, again, just the duality of this character. I thought it was a really well-written character and a good scene.
No, I agree. And we talked about like all the little extra things about it, like how he's actually supposed to beat him 11-0 and all that stuff. But no, I agree. It was an interesting scene. At no point did I think he was going to beat him because I was like, if this guy's going to be a top prospect, I don't think he's going to beat him.
Yeah.
But I was just curious to see if we're gonna get some, not necessarily like a corny moment where he lets him beat him just so he'll be like, you know what, I'll sign it. I don't know if it was gonna be like he's gonna beat him and he's like, you know what, Dad, I'm gonna sign it anyway. I don't know if it was gonna be like they were gonna hug, cry together. Like I was really again, it's another one of those scenes where I was interested to see like where's this going. I don't think that Jake's gonna beat him, but like I'm curious to see like what's gonna transpire as like they're kind of like going back and forth and like shit talking and all that stuff. So I thought it was a powerful scene too. It's definitely a big part in this movie. I don't know if you definitely if they call this a climax. Maybe it is a climax of the movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is because, like you said, it's not like Jesus is gonna lose. Like, he's a high school #1 prospect. Jake's been in prison for 6 years. Even if he's been working on his jump shot, that's not at all the same as playing real games against high level talent.
No, definitely
so
not.
There's no way he's gonna win this game, but it's more what's gonna happen between them and in the relationship. And that's really what it is. Like, Jake goes in knowing he's gonna lose, but to me, he's going in there to show Jesus that he actually cares about him and wants him to do the right thing, whatever he thinks is best for him. Like, he starts that challenge by saying, if you beat me, I'm gone. You'll never have to talk to me again. If I beat you, you sign this letter. But again, he knows the consequences of the game are almost meaningless to him because he knows he's not going to win. It's more getting him to play the game so that he can buy himself an opportunity to show him that he truly cares about him. Mm-hmm. And I think it works well.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And after that, we basically just get the finally the announcement and everything that they choose his big state. And
he picks big state. We get the final scene. Jake is back in prison. He throws the ball over the fence. Jesus is in the big state court shooting around, and the ball finds its way onto that court. Like I said, the cutting of the movie where it's like it felt like they were intertwined. In this scene, they literally are, because this I don't know. It's obviously a movie thing, but what did you think? I wanted to ask you, like, when Jesus, he steps out on that line, the guy's like, get back inside or he's gonna shoot him, and he throws the ball. What did you think the meaning of that was? And like when the ball ends up on Jesus's court.
I don't know. Like, did you have any specific thoughts?
Yeah, I had thoughts written down.
Okay,
So you could just respond to what I have. So it's obviously the parallel to Jesus doing it earlier in the movie, right? When
Yeah.
he throws the ball over the fence when Jake's going too hard on him and he gives up.
Mhm.
So in that scene, it's Jesus giving up against an unwinnable opponent,
Yeah.
his dad, because he's a kid at that point. So his dad's way bigger, stronger. He can't win that
Mhm.
game. So to me, the parallel for Jake in this scene is again giving up against an unwinnable fight, because when he gets into the jail, the warden says, "Yeah, your son went to big state, but he didn't sign that letter of intent."
Mm.
You know, like, yeah, the governor got what he want, but he didn't sign the letter, and that was the deal. He had to sign the letter,
Yeah.
and that's not what he did. So he's like, "Yeah, we'll try and get you out, but I don't really know." So basically, he's saying you're not getting out of here. Like
Yeah.
it's not happening. So to me, it's Jake giving up against an unwinnable opponent, which
Mm.
is the system, the prison that has him
Yeah.
in there, and he got Jesus to go to big state, but he didn't sign the letter, so he lost.
Yeah, that's good. No, I didn't really think about that, but yeah, I think that is a perfect parallel to that, which is kind of sad when you think about it. Does Jake have life? Is it life in prison? We don't really know how long he's
Um,
got. I
I don't
don't think
know. I
they
guess
say.
they never really say. He says it's gonna be a long time, but
I mean, it's
because at the
murder.
start of the movie he says, we're gonna cut time off your sentence. So if it's life, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
yeah. Maybe it's not life because 25 to life cut some time off. Like what? I don't know. But no, that
I don't know.
I like that parallel. I didn't think about that. I didn't make that connection. I
Okay.
figured it was something. I just couldn't catch. Like I didn't think it was just like a cute little cinematic
Right.
thing they wanted to do. Like I figured there was deeper meaning, but I didn't make the connection of like the prison system and like the talking about the unwinnable battle between that and then the connection with him and his son. That's
Yeah, I
I
mean
like that.
that's what I thought of, and
Mhm.
because like you said, like it was so clearly intentional
Yeah, for
that
sure.
like he threw it over the fence, and then like I said, it shows up in Jesus's court. So like
Mhm.
this clearly something.
Yeah.
That's what I came up with.
Mhm.
There's also the cool shot of him like when he's shooting, we see the ball going toward the hoop, and then in the background it's the guard
Yeah.
staring at him. So it just like has that symbolism of him always being under watch, like even in the freedom of a basketball game.
Yeah.
So that was a cool shot that we actually see a couple times throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That I also wanted to shout out. But yeah, that was the meaning I came up with. We'd have to get Spike on the podcast and ask if
Yeah,
that's
100%.
actually what he meant by it. But that's what I came up with.
No, that's good. I like that.
All right. Did you have any other facts or anything you didn't get to?
The only other thing is I saw all the possible people that could have been in it.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, you could say yours because I had two things. If you want to say the people or
Yeah, well, Kobe was his first choice, Kobe
yeah,
Bryant. But apparently, after losing to the Jazz in the playoffs his rookie season, Kobe planned an intense workout program for the summer to prepare for the long NBA season because he just came out of high school, right?
yeah,
So he was not ready to play with the big boys. And I won't say that. It's not that he wasn't ready to play with the big
yeah,
boys. He lost in the playoffs. So he's Kobe. So he's a psycho. So he was
yeah,
like, no, I can't take time off in the off season to film this movie. So he passed on it to do this big workout program. So instead, he went to T Mac, Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury, and ultimately he approached Ray Allen during halftime of a Bucks Knicks game.
Mm. I didn't see that part. That's interesting.
Halftime, didn't even wait till the end of the
Yeah,
game. At half,
exactly.
hey yo, you want to be in my movie?
Yeah, I thought it was funny with the AI thing too because I saw that he said that like he felt that AI style and like personality didn't fit like that reserved character, which like I 100% agree. He's
Yeah,
too much of like a personality, and like just knowing how AI is, I don't know if it'd been believable
yeah, hundred
because
percent.
AI seems like he'd be about all the stuff.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
all the troubles and stuff he got into in his early career, and obviously he's gotten better now with those things. But like he had a wild outside of basketball career, which I don't think it would have been believable seeing him in that
Yeah,
role as as Jesus.
yeah, I agree. And I think almost like T Mac, even like maybe not T Mac, but Garnett, like he's so tall that like it almost would be take you out of the movie a little bit, like when you're towering over all these people. Like it just makes you even less relatable that you're like someone that's so massive. Like we're normal humans. We can't relate to KG who's friggin' 6'10" or however.
I think
is he 7
I don't know
foot?
if he's 7 foot actually.
He's
I
tall
think he's
as
like
hell.
6'10", 6'11" or something like
But
that.
like Iverson, Marbury, T-Mac's pretty freaking tall. I mean, not that Ray Allen isn't tall, but
But he didn't. It wasn't
more,
like it wasn't
it's not
a
insane.
distracting. It wasn't a distracting height. Like in every scene or most scenes, and I think they did a good job of it. Like a lot of the scenes, he was standing with people, but a lot of them were sitting down. He's sitting down with the uncle. When he's talking to his sister, they were sitting down. The times when he was like over her, it was kind of meant to be like a being over her. Like when he's mad at her, he sits down with his dad a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sitting down when he's with Lala. There's a lot of sitting scenes. But so I think that's intentional too, because I think certain moments would be like, okay, you're just towering over this person. It's too distracting. Let's get you down.
That's a good point. Yeah, the only time is when he's walking through Tech U with Rick Fox, but he's also tall as fuck.
Exactly.
So
and around other basketball players.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just looks normal.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. But
I didn't
right.
think about it either until just now. There's a lot of sitting down where it's like, could it be distracting otherwise?
Yeah, good point. All right, what was your next thing?
The last thing I had was just I saw like JJ Redick had Ray Allen back in 2018 on his podcast back when he was a podcast, not a coach.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he was saying how much he loved the film, and he questioned if the movie came out today, which is back in 2018, but we could do this with now's roster, so we don't have to like kind of figure out. But he was saying if the movie came out today, he's like, I feel like it would be bigger. Like if you take like a big director, big actor, and a rising star athlete with social media, like I feel like it would be bigger. And it made me think, I was like, if you could pick big director, big actor, and a rising star, and you could place it.
Damn.
I have a 3, so I can have you think about it.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you go first.
So mine, I thought Ant, which again, he kind of is the AI thing, but I feel like he kind of fits. He's like a big enough personality, and he's the rising star. He's young enough where I feel like I couldn't go too old with other people. But so I went with Ant. I went with Coogler because it doesn't necessarily have to be a black director, but I feel like you might as well just keep it someone that actually. I don't actually know if Coogler likes basketball, but I'm just keep it as a black director. And then I went with the character as Jake because I went as Ice Cube.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of other like big. Obviously, you can't do Denzel. I was going through the Rolodex of like big black actors, and I was like, some of them are too old at this point. Like Samuel Jackson, like Will. Like I don't know, like I think they still do well in those roles, but like if they would be in prison and like it would, I don't know, the story I think would be changed. It'd be too old, I feel like, for like the dynamic of what this story is, because like Jake seemed like a younger kind of dad.
Yeah.
And then I picked Ice Cube just because I felt like, just based off the fact that he was also a rapper before, and just the believability of like seeing him being someone that went to prison. I'm not saying Ice Cube's a wife beater, but I'm just saying that like, okay, I can see, because we've seen him play these kind of roles where it's like, oh, I could see him being someone that went to prison. You know what I mean? And like it's Ice Cube, and like he's a big name. People, I don't know if people are lining up to see Ice Cube, but like it's a name.
Right.
So I went, so I went Ant, like Anthony Edwards, for people that don't know who Ant is. Anthony Edwards, Ryan Coogler, and Ice Cube was my 3.
Okay. I like that. I'm gonna I was thinking while you were talking there, I'm gonna go Shay.
Okay.
Because I mean he's Canadian. So I fuck with that. He's a baller.
He was actually in that 2018 draft. So now you're on brand with JJ's question at the time.
Perfect. All right. So we'll go Shay. We'll go we're gonna go Jamie Foxx.
Okay. I thought about that.
We're gonna go Jamie Foxx for his pops, for Jake. And director, I can't beat Coogler. I'll take a Coogler too. Can I take Coogler too?
Yeah, you can do it too. Why not?
Or give me Jordan Peele.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I don't want to put him in a box saying he only does horror movies.
Yeah.
Because he can definitely do more.
Yeah, give me Peele, Fox, and Shay.
Okay, I like that. The only thing I was thinking about with the Shay thing, I was thinking, like, yeah, he's Canadian. Like, I don't know if that changes the dynamic of the story too much.
See, because I was like, because one of my favorite actors is Matt Damon. I was like, ooh, big actor. Let me take Damon. And then who was it? Like Luca? I guess.
Yeah, I know. And Luca was in that 2018 draft too. So we turned into a white
there's
story.
That version, yeah.
But then he's a
Okay, so-
European though, so now it's like, is the
So
European
it happens in
experience
Europe.
the same thing?
Yeah, why not? Oh,
I don't know if it's
yeah.
the same thing. They don't care about basketball as much.
Make it. Yeah,
It'd have to be like soccer, football. Then
no, but
it'd
that could be a
big deal.
thing. See, this is Luka Doncic. He's here from Slovenia, and he's looking at different colleges. He's going on the college tour. I guess maybe the whole dad in prison thing doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily
that's what I'm saying.
work in that sense.
Is that
Unless his
yeah.
dad? Okay, his dad, Matt Damon, came over from Slovenia and attempted a bank heist, got arrested, and is in American prison. Luca is balling overseas. He's coming over, and the governor of Wyoming wants him to go to freaking Wyoming University. And who's directing it? Who's going to be our Damien Chazelle is putting together a story that shows the whole thing. There we go.
I like that.
Perfect.
I like that.
We
Yeah,
got
you
it.
wrote it. That's good.
We got it.
We made the white version of He Got Game. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I got one more. It's just I know you already know this, but just for any listeners that the NBA had a few separate occasions of the special nickname nights.
I was gonna mention
And
that.
and Ray Allen wore Jay Shuttlesworth on the back of his jersey for a couple of those times. So Google that if you want to check that out. That's pretty cool.
And the funny thing is, at the time, like I knew the reference, but I didn't really get the reference because I didn't see the movie yet. So I was like, okay,
Right.
he played that in the movie. But now it's
Now we
it's
know.
even more. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, now we know.
It's
But yeah,
perfect.
that's all I got. That's all I got.
That is also I got. That is also
So-
I got. That is also all I got.
That's
So
all I got. I
it's
think
time
it's
for
time.
this.
Yes, it's that time of the show. It's time for the Filmmies. And if you're new to the show, Scott mentioned it earlier. This is the part of the show where we give out 6 awards to the movie that we just watched, starting with our Ferris Bueller Award. But actually, before I get into the Ferris Bueller Award, I'll say that me and Scott don't know what our awards are. Like, I mean, I know what my award is, but we don't know what each other's awards are. And when we get the same award, it's certified. We class it as certified. So if it happens, you'll see what happens when that happens. First award that we have
Happens.
is the Ferris Bueller Award, aka our Lazy Award. We were kind of talking about it during the movie review, and basically it just goes to anybody. It could be the director, it could be a writer, could be any of the main characters, side characters. Anybody can get it, but it's something that we deem as lazy that happened in the movie. Not necessarily something that ruined the movie, but sometimes it's just something funny we wanted to point out. So Scott, who gets your Ferris Bueller Award?
My Ferris Bueller goes to Spike Lee.
Oh, okay.
And it's for the top 2 schools in the movie being called Big State and Tech U. You couldn't do better than Big State and Tech
that's
U.
good.
You couldn't come up with anything better than that, Spike.
That's good.
Come on, bro.
That's good.
Big State?
Yeah,
What the
I
fuck is
was-
that?
When we said it earlier too, I was like, Big State. I was like, great name for a school. I almost just threw that in there. Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. You
Yeah.
got Big State and Tech U. Like,
No,
these are the
that's
most
100%.
basic. Man. You couldn't come up with anything better than that. That's just, I'm chalking it up to laziness.
100%. Kobe's gonna like that one. Kobe's gonna.
Okay,
like
I hope so. I hope so.
Because I like that one. I didn't even.
Appreciate it.
It was right. It was right in my face, and I didn't even see it. I'm like, that's 100% a perfect one.
Like as soon as at the start of the movie, when the freaking warden says the governor wants you to stun to go to Big State, I was like, the fuck, Big State.
That
And
almost
then Tech
is-
U came, and I was like, okay, that's enough.
Big
of that.
States just sounds like a division. It doesn't even sound like you're the big state schools. You know what I mean? It doesn't even sound like a name of a school. But yeah, where
It's
is Big
terrible.
State? Did they even get a place in it? Is
Whatever the biggest state, Texas. It's in Texas, I guess.
okay.
Well,
all right,
yeah, I don't know. Actually, no, we don't know. We'll say it's in Texas.
whatever. But that's a good one. I like your Ferris Bueller award. You know what the funny thing is? You actually said my Ferris Bueller
Oh,
earlier, and
Well-
not even as a. And the funny thing is, you said it was almost your Ferris Bueller, and I was like, well, it is my Ferris Bueller, and it goes to Lala for the in
Okay.
the pool thing.
yep.
And I was like, yo, are you even trying to hide this? Like, it's like you, yeah, like,
What are you doing?
like, what are you doing?
He's
Like,
in the house.
he's in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, you were cool up until that moment. All the little stuff we talked about, the little hand stuff and all that stuff. It was like kind of implied, like in your tone a little bit when you mentioned him, DeAndre. Shout out Alan because he liked that punch in the throat. But when you're at the pool, you were just you guys were way too flirty, and that was my Ferris.
It's no arguments for me. Like I wrote it down, and that would have been my Ferris
until the big tech.
Well, until Tech U came.
Yeah.
Big State, I was like, okay, I'm writing this down and I'm gonna call him out like at the start as we're going through the movie. Then Tech U came, I was like, okay, that's 2. Come on, Spike. That's gonna be my lazy. But if it were for that this would have been my lazy as well. And you're totally right. What is this? What is she doing?
I don't know, man. That's fair.
She's fucking up.
The next award we have is our fit check. So what was your favorite fit of the movie? There's some good fits in here.
There was, but I actually went with my wackest fit.
Oh, okay. There was one that I was thinking about. I'm curious to see if you had the same fit. So
maybe. So it's Jesus.
Okay.
And it's when he's meeting Jake at the beach.
Oh, okay.
So he's got his cross chain that he's got on the whole movie. He's got a wife beater, whatever, nothing crazy there. But he's got on these overalls that are shorts, and not only that, the straps over the shoulder are long as hell. The chest is like under his nipples, like it's so low because it's so loose. I get it's 1998, so all the clothes are very loose, but he's got overalls that are shorts, super low and loose, and then he's got big ass Timbs on, like shorts. And huge Timbs is not a good look. Your legs looks like sticks. It's not good. It's not a good look.
I didn't even realize they were shorts.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch that.
Because you're right. Most of the scene is just like the chest up.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I was like, wow, that strap is really low on these overalls. And then he gives him the stuffed animal. He's like, give this to your sister. And then he turns the corner and gives it to a baby in the stroller. And you see his legs. And he's wearing shorts and Timbs. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is terrible. So that's my fit check.
No, that's good. That's a good bad fit. I thought you were gonna give it to the dude at the beginning, like one of his teammates when they're playing ball, and he's wearing a polo shirt and he cut the sleeves off.
Oh my god!
I was like, why would you want to play ball like that?
I didn't even notice that.
I was like, you don't have a t-shirt or a tank top and you're a ball player. You have a polo and you cut the sleeves off. Well, what the hell is that?
That's a bad fit.
It's a terrible fit. I thought you were gonna go with that.
I didn't even notice it. I might have if I.
It's the dude. It's the cool shot too, where he's holding up the newspaper, and then it goes right into them celebrating.
That was sick.
That was sick. But it's him. He's wearing a polo, and he cut the sleeves off.
I was locked in on the newspaper, so I didn't see the. Okay, that's good though.
No, but I like yours though because I didn't realize they were shorts.
Yeah, go back and look, man. It's not good. It's not good.
My fit actually goes to Jesus, but for good reasons.
He had some good ones too.
He did have some good ones. I just like a simple fit. I think it's mostly the shirt. Like he's always rocking the cross, and he had I think they were just on tearaway pants. It's not really the tearaways that did it for me. It was the Lugs red shirt when they break up. I was really feeling the Lugs red shirt. Yeah, because I used to rock Lugs when I was like in elementary school. Yeah. So just seeing the brand kind of got me hype. It was like seeing like Echo or something, or like Baby Fat. I was like, hey, yeah, exactly. Or Fubu, yeah, exactly. So I saw the Lugs shirt. I thought it was kind of fresh. So I was like, that's my fit. I'm feeling that. I like that fit.
And that's when he's breaking his girl off too. So he's feeling nice. He's now a single man.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just like, all right, peace out.
Good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wild.
Nice fit.
Yeah, it was a nice fit. Next one we have, self-explanatory, is the best quote. So who got your best quote?
I gave mine to Spivey.
Okay.
Who is one of the cops that's looking? In charge of Jake.
Mm-hmm.
They have some wild lines when they're talking shit to him. So my Spivey, who's the black one, who's played by Jim Brown, by the way, the Cleveland Browns running back.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, that's him. I didn't realize it either until I saw the cast later in the movie. I was like, oh, what the hell? That was. I mean, football players, they have their helmet on, so like before social media and all that, like you don't really know what they look like. Anyways, so it's when Jake wants more money from them so he can get with Dakota, and Spivey says, "I get it, man. No poontang in 5.5 years. I know you ain't been out there messing around with them little boys. Nobody tossed your salad." I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? Started it off with no poontang. Who says poontang? Nobody tossed your salad. God damn.
I forgot about the last part too. That just took me out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's wild.
Wow.
He's asking him just straight up, like, nobody touched your salad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
And they're at like a restaurant. Like they're like this isn't in like a private conversation. You're just saying this in public. Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That is a wild line. Honestly, when you said that you were giving it to him, I was like, all right, which line?
Yeah,
he
there's a
said- he
bunch of
said some
wild ones.
wild stuff. That takes
For
the
sure.
cake, though. That takes
Yep.
the cake.
For
That's
me, it
crazy.
did. So that was my best quote.
That's a good quote.
Because there's a lot of like meaningful ones and stuff like
Yeah.
we talked about, kind of the meaning. But I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of comedy in this movie too.
No,
There's a lot of good stuff going on.
100%.
And
Yeah.
that one like almost maybe double take. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, 100%. Like, there's
Instantly
even a
got
line.
written down.
This isn't even my quote, but I have to give some love to it because I didn't mention it. Just freaking Uncle Buck when he was saying that, like, you ain't got no job, J-O-B. And that had me dying because I was like, why are you spelling it out for him? It's so-
A 3-letter word.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
the
right.
easiest word you could spell.
But
Oh, man.
mine goes to Jesus. Earlier, that it was right before that whole J-O-B spelling out. And Jake's leaving because now he's just telling me, "Yo, get out of here." And Jake says to his daughter, he says, "Yo, enjoy the Skittles, baby." And then he replies with, "Nah, you enjoy walking out that front door." And I was like, "Damn, man."
Spike really wanted to let us know in this first meeting. Jesus did
Yeah.
not fuck with
I
Jake.
know, and that's why he killed me because I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't mess with this guy. That's crazy. So I was like, all right, that stuck with me. So I gave that. It goes to Jesus for that.
I like it. He stood on business, man.
He
pulled
really
up.
did, man.
And he didn't know that he was going to be there. Immediately when he sees Pop, he's like, "What are you doing? Who are you? Get out of my house."
I thought he was gonna
He's
throw
like, "Why you let-"
hands.
He asked him, Mary, like, "Why you letting strangers in our house? This is my father. What are you?" Crazy.
Man. Oh my goodness. But our next award, this is our first time being renamed.
That's
because
right.
it's no longer the Nas Reed Award. It is now
Get
the
outta here,
Peyton
Nas Reed.
Pritchard. Now the Peyton Pritchard Award because he's now our new sixth man. So sixth man is an award we give out to someone who shut out in the movie. It wasn't quite the MVP, but they shut out in their small role. And Scott, who did you give your sixth man? Your Peyton Pritchard.
My first ever Peyton Pritchard 6-man award goes to Big Time Willie. We
Okay.
talked about it going crazy in his scene. The gang boss who
Yeah.
gives Jesus and Booger a ride while he's talking about all the things that are gonna bring him down. His New York accent, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
We're big time ball players coming out of the Bronx. I have a couple of his bars right now because he was getting crazy
Yeah.
fucking bars off.
No,
And
100%.
So I'm gonna read a few of them too. The bigger a nigga get up in this motherfucker, the more they hate you. And then he's talking about all the drugs. They get the smack, the dope, the weed. Don't forget about that alcohol, baby. Then he says, "How you spell pussy?" Oh, Puhiv. Pussy be talking to you, Jesus. Pussy be saying, "Come on in, Jesus. Just a little taste." All those lips, all those hips, all those honey dips. I was like, yo, this. All right, that's all I got. But holy shit.
Yeah, the honey
This
dips.
guy
Yeah,
went
he was
insane.
spitting bars, man. He was going crazy. He was going crazy, man.
He was going crazy, and he had one scene. It was a ride to school, and he went nuts in that scene.
No, he did. Even though we were clowning him for his accent, he definitely. But despite that, he was he showed out in that moment. He was hilarious.
Who's yours?
I gave it to the. I hate that it's a Peyton Pritchard award because my dad's a huge Boston fan, so it grosses me out. But
It's gonna be a whole year. of that,
I
my
know
friend.
that's why it grosses me out. But anyway, my Peyton Pritchard, my fast PP as they call him, which is a horrible nickname.
Oh, what?
That's what they call him in Boston. They call him fast PP.
What the fuck?
I know. Yeah, exactly. But
Oh,
anyway,
that's terrible.
It is terrible.
God.
I don't know. I thought you could do better than that, Boston. See, now I feel better because now I crap on Boston a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Sixers fan. So.
Yeah, exactly. So mine goes to the shoe salesman.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just to me, it's the element of just like he's telling him, he's like, "Oh, what is that?" He's just like, "Oh, I got arthritis." She's like, immediately she's like, "Yeah, my brother's got the same arthritic condition. It's going around all here on Coney Island."
That killed me.
I'm just like, he was not having any of Jake's BS. Like he was just like, Man forgot all his customer service training. He just, I'm like, that's not how you talk to a customer, dog. You just play along and you sell them your shoes. He was like, oh yeah, my brother's got the same condition.
Yeah, you got this. It's a pandemic out here in Coney
Yeah.
Island, man. It's going around like crazy. That's funny though. That's
No,
freaking
it is
hilarious.
funny.
And honestly, he's like, okay, a guy with an ankle monitor probably made some bad decisions in his life, and I need him to blow some money that he probably doesn't have on Jays. I need him to make another bad decision right here. So, fuck him.
But yeah, I had to give it to him because he had a really small role. We only saw him for that little spot, and that part had me dying because I did not think he was gonna just play him like that. I'm like, dog, do you want him to buy the shoes? Like you're messing with them. But yeah, he gets my 6 man for that.
I like it. That's a great pick. Great pick.
Thank you. We got 2 more awards. Second last one we have is our best scene. So what was your favorite scene of the movie?
My favorite scene was the visit to Tech U.
Okay, yeah.
So, Rick Fox had his little role. I mean, we've seen him act in like quite a few things at this point.
Oh,
Like, he's a good actor. So he was great. I wouldn't even call it a cameo. Like he had a full role.
Yeah.
You talked about John Turturro as the coach giving that the pitch was killing me. He was killing me in that point. And I talked about the plot point. Well, we both did. The plot point of the girls is very realistic.
Yeah.
And that this would be something that they're trying to latch on to. You're going to be a millionaire. So this is another, I don't want to say obstacle, but another piece of the puzzle that you're got to work through in this scenario. And I talked about the very end of it, cutting to Jake right after the at the end of the sex scene. That made me laugh. So it was just perfect ending to a great scene.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. Yeah, no, I thought that was good. It's interesting. I didn't know if you were gonna go that route with your scene because that was a hilarious scene.
Yeah,
I was trying to though. I went with and this is why I wasn't saying too much with it because I was like, I got to save some of my parts for when I give this award.
I'm curious if it's I almost like my runner up basically. I almost went with another one. I'm curious if it's what you
It's
picked.
the Jesus and Lola like breakup.
Yep, that's exactly.
That's what I went with. Yeah,
yep.
yeah. It's
That's what I would have gone with. Yeah.
I just thought it was a good scene because again we talked about all the different dynamics of it and just kind of how well, first of all it was funny too. Like we said, it started off kind of like they were kind of playful and then it got more serious, but I wrote down the specific lines too, which killed me just the way Jesus played it off because she's like, did you see any women there? And he's like, it was at college. There was women all over the place. The thing that killed me was like there was women on the call. There's women on the floor. I'm like, what do you mean on the floor? There's women on the floor in the dorms, in the classrooms, the basketball team. He's like, yeah, there was women everywhere. Yeah, of course I saw women. That part killed me because I'm like, we all obviously know he's a piece of shit because he's lying. Yeah, we know that he's lying. So it's just like I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then we talked about how it gets even deeper too, because then she even says like he doubles down even, and we know he's lying. He's like, man, you think I'll be on one of those white girls? Mom will be turning in her grave if. And I'm like, dog, but you did. And she was like, yeah, and she's spinning and she's turning and turning. And I'm like, well, why would you say that, dog? You didn't need to put your mom's name in there.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. That was a great scene. Like I said, that would have been my pick if it weren't for the visit to Tech U. That was like, I thought it was really well, like it's only dialogue. Nothing else happens in the scene. It's just these two characters talking to each other. And it's simple. She enters, they start the conversation. They're kind of, playful and they're, how was your trip? Blah, blah, blah. And then they start accusing each other of shit. And like, it feels very organic. It didn't feel like we're in a scene that has to get to a breakup. It felt very real.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like that was like the conversation that I was talking about earlier when I was saying like I was gonna bring it up here, or it maybe sparked the conversation about like, are you on Lala's side? Are you on like Jesus' side? But I was like, okay, I can throw that in there, and then just mention the funny parts and just the dynamic of just because again, we don't have to dive back into what we were just talking about, but like I see both sides with it. Where it's like you got to trust him a little bit, and if the trust doesn't work out, then it is what it is. But like, it's also one of those things where it's just like Lala's not gonna get, you expect Lala not to get nothing. And I'm like, well, you're not the athlete though. Like no one
Yeah.
at the end of the day should really expect anything. You're not the person that has the skill and is doing this stuff. You're related to him, or you're dating him, or you're friends with him, but at the end of the day, he doesn't owe
Yeah.
you anything.
No, 100%. And
Yeah.
she, as at least for the events of the movie, she cheated first.
Yeah.
So I mean, in Jesus' defense, and he's like you said, he saw her at the pool.
Yeah.
So maybe if she wasn't doing that, he wouldn't have cheated.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. But that's what I got for my best scene. Last,
It's a good scene.
but certainly not least, MVP. So Scott, who gets your MVP?
Spike Lee gets my MVP. I thought the writing was really great. The characters are awesome. Your best scene I just mentioned, I thought the character was great. A lot of the meaning between the lines of things, like I said, the ending with throwing the basketball, I thought it was a nice little touch, and the meaning that I pulled from it. The characters were really good. Like we talked about Jake the whole time, and like he's not a right character, he's not a wrong character, he's somewhere mixed in the middle, which is again realistic. All the little touches of authenticity that we talked about, the funny moments throughout that were great, they were sprinkled in, and his direction, like the constant, I guess this is more editing, and I don't know, I'm sure he had a hand in this, but like the constant cutting between scenes and like mixing in past and present voices and moments within the scene, I thought was mixed in super well. He did a great job with this. I love it.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, because he was also my MVP. Hey, and
Nice.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those things where you probably could have gave it to Denzel. There's a strong case for Denzel, and then if you want to be nice to Ray Allen and just be like, "Yo, shout out to you for killing it in your first role, buddy." But
Yeah.
but it's Spike's got his hands all over this movie. I mean, it's always, especially when someone's writer and director on a film,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
enjoy the film, it's kind of hard not to give it to them because they have so much control over it. And then I'm pretty sure like it was this movie probably wouldn't have got made for the most part, I think, if it wasn't for Denzel too. He kind of talked about, because it was like not a lot of studios wanted to put their money into this film, but then once they saw Denzel was on it, so like he had to really push to even get this movie made in the first place. And you talked about all the same reasons why I enjoyed this movie. I thought the angles that they played with Jesus, just all the different angles, and some people, like we were talking about like right at the beginning of the podcast, how maybe people question there's too many stories. Like I didn't think like it was cluttered with too many side stories. Like I didn't think it was watered down. The main story is the son-father dynamic, and I feel like that didn't get overshadowed at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And giving it to Denzel, I think, I mean, we talked about it. Like, is he on the screen more than Jesus? Like they kind of share the main character role, like they're co-main characters, you could say. Maybe I think Jesus is probably the main character. So
Yeah.
like, not to say that you have to be the main character to win MVP, but like it's a good Denzel performance. But like
Mhm.
Denzel has such a high bar for me that like this isn't one of his top performances for me.
Yeah.
And it I can't give him my MVP for what's not one of his top performances. And at the end of the day, I think he wasn't more valuable than Spike in this. I think the reasons I like this movie is more the writing and the editing and the direction,
Yeah.
more than the acting. So that's why I give it to Spike.
Yeah, and I completely agree with all those same things too. Because yeah, and I remember on our first episode, I'm spoiling. I didn't give Tom Hanks my MVP, because I was saying, I was like, I know we're gonna see way more films. When someone's just like a well established actor, I'm like, I don't feel bad not giving it to this, even though he was great
Yeah.
in this. He's great in other things too, and he's probably gonna get some more in those. So I felt the same thing with Denzel too. He wasn't bad in this by no means, but it's just like,
Right.
I know there's other movies that we're gonna give it to him for. So Spike gets it.
100%. I totally agree. All right. Did you have anything else, or?
No, that's all I got.
Well, there you go. That's it for us. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Film Room Pod for all-star content. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. Leave a written review if you want to be shouted out on the podcast. we'll be sure to do that. Like
And
Kobe,
we'll-
relation, no relation.
Yeah. And we'll be checking out Spotify.
And
So
Spotify
if you-
comments.
So
yeah,
if you comment on Spotify, we'll be
Yeah,
checking for them.
exactly. Yeah. Now we'll be actually be able to respond to you. Now we'll be checking for that. Yeah, 5 stars because Jesus is a 5-star recruit,
You.
right? Just like Jesus.
Oh no.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week. Dion, I'm passing you the lead pass to finish with the left.
All right. And I feel like I have to do this. What's it called? I'm not ending on a downer. I'm kind of like I'm taking it and then I'm bringing it to the positive. For
Okay.
those that don't know, I mean, anyone listening wouldn't know that. My grandma just passed away, and I feel I need to mention this too because I feel like the fact that we're doing a basketball movie, she was someone that when I was younger used to bring me to like all like my basketball games, like all my practices and stuff like that. So like just the fact that we're even talking about this movie just makes me think about her and stuff. And I'm bringing her up because, yeah, no, just because I still want to do the podcast and I wanted because I don't know, this is the family, you know, we're doing it and I love it. I enjoy doing the podcast, something that makes me happy, just talking about movies and stuff like that. And to take that, I want to tie it and say, if you're at home and if you're listening to this, like Uncle Buck says, go take your big ass to the bedroom, call someone close to you, and tell them you love them. And peace out.
Peace out.